You can support this show at patreon.com/ASA podcasting.
The Wasteland is a post-apocalyptic mess as the sole survivor wanders out about to see the rest. Nuclear explosions sending out the gamma rays from deep within the core, frozen atomic waves. From deep within the core, frozen atomic waves.
Hello and welcome to the 531st episode of the Fallout Feed. I'm Ray, joined by Jess.
Hey, Ray, I love your long feed. That's always great. Greets, everybody.
So we are the show that compares and contrasts Fallout experiences through a lively roundtable discussion by playing through the same quests with characters who have been randomly assigned drastically different attributes.
Very random.
Welcome, everybody. Hope all is well. Our intrepid Andrew is out cavorting through snowstorms, dashing through the snow, and all that good stuff. To grandma's house he goes.
Holiday journeys and festivities galore.
So for the time being, we are carrying on the show. So tonight, Jess and I will go over our gameplay for the week, which will be astonishingly much like our gameplay last week.
It really was.
And then what we're really here for is roundtable feedback time. So we've got feedback from Jeff and Lee, and Technomancer, Rando, Calm Horizons, John, Vanessa, Will, Gene, and Siliori. And then, of course, there'll be news.
Yep, we got news. I have a game time in there, Mojave Lapia, or whatever Andrew was calling it, in case he showed up, because I knew he prepared one. But we may not have a Mojave Lapia, or whatever we're calling the New Vegas version of it.
Yeah.
But
So,
luckily, a lot of our friends and listeners are helping do the show for us tonight, so it kind of makes it easy, Andrew, have a good night off.
That's right. So, Jess, what games did you play this week?
Well, as I wrote on the list, same as last week mostly. I'm still playing Ball X Pit. It's the game that keeps on giving. I'm slowly getting those achievements. That's what it is for me now. It's, I've got 20 minutes before bed, which turns into 40. And, I've got 10 minutes before this, which turns into 30. It's a great game to play in short bursts, but they always end up being longer than I intend, but still a lot shorter than getting into a real quest and the way that things go for us in most of our games. So little by little, I'm unlocking levels, getting achievements. I'm up to the 5th level now. There are 8 total. The game does have an end. So I'm just grinding, getting those achievements, and having a lot of fun with it. Still highly recommend. There are so many good games that came out this year, and I've tried a few others. I've been playing that Monster Prom again, like I mentioned, with friends, a couple playthroughs of that. And I wish I had started Vampire the Masquerade, but I haven't yet. I wish I got further in Outer Worlds 2. I think you are, so I want to hear more about that. But I fizzled on it very quickly because of starting the New Vegas playthrough, getting that ready and running and everything. With New Vegas, really just did Prim this week so far. And I am I'm going with the classic. It's the Robit run. Since I'm doing Yes Man, we got Prim Slim. I didn't go to get Sheriff Myers this time or convince the NCR they should come in and take over, which is good, better for everybody, I think. So that's what we're doing there. And I haven't made it past Nipton, though. Still, that'll be this week. I am working on my setup. So I did get the TV moved in. And
Nice.
I don't have the futon in here yet, but I am going for it. We are doing the couch life in the PC room, Ray. I am bringing our two worlds together. I want peace and harmony between us.
Excellent. Yeah, it can be achieved.
It was just, I will say, it plays so well on PC, which that's the whole journey from a lot of our friends. There are people who have been reading the Discord and a little bit on Facebook, but especially Discord, we have been talking mods with a lot of people trying PC, if not for the first time, a modded PC for the first time, or just dealing with mods on older games, especially with New Vegas being a little less than stable at times, kind of like Fallout 3 on PC. It takes a little work. It's been fun to watch, hasn't it, Ray?
Yeah. Yeah. And one of the things for anybody that's, new, we had this come up a couple times. If you're new to playing games on PC, one thing that you should always do when you set up your Steam account, your Steam install, is set it up in its own folder.
I had that conversation with a couple people this week, Ray. Yeah, in messages trying to help them. Like some people let it install the default folder, which is, of course, in program files or program files x86. Like, because Steam wants to put it inside of Steam apps, and it puts inside the Steam apps folder, which if you don't tell it to put it someplace where outside of program files where it should be, it's going to put it in there. And
right, because that's the one place that every install knows that you have that.
Mm-hmm.
And so they can confidently say, if we install it here, it will go in, on this person's PC.
Yep.
And so all programs do that because it's a known location. They know how to control it, but it's the Windows curse.
Yeah.
Because Windows will then deny you all kinds of access to the files.
Lock it down. It wants you to run as administrator only and provide permission for any changes, which of course you can't give those permissions while you're playing a game. And it's trying to modify ESP files and BSA files and all that stuff. And when you've been doing this for a while, it's second nature. I mean, I know when I set up Steam, I give it a separate place. I know my GOG. I have like D/games. I have D/Steam apps. I've got them all on a separate drive just for games. It's fast, it's good, and it's not going to have trouble. But if you don't know, and if you only have one drive, just make it, give yourself a C folder. It can be in C. Just don't put it in Windows program files.
Right. Yeah. So it's tough once you get it there. So a friend of the show, Lee, discovered that, even when you shut down Steam, it still has programming hooks that have latched on to locations in the system.
True.
And it won't let it go.
Who found that out, Ray?
That would be
Lee.
So fortunately, he was able to get that sorted out, because he's, has a lot of programming experience.
Yep.
And it's he was able to work it through. But hopefully, anybody, if you want to play on PC, install your Steam in a separate folder because
it avoids a lot of issues.
Lots of issues.
And Windows 11 has gotten a little better. I will say it was the worst in Vista 7, 8, like that era. It was the worst. Like now, I've been able, like some people who install programs, I've got it running, but it's still better if it's outside because you're still limited. Yeah. If you're trying to use script extender stuff and all that, no, you're going to have major trouble.
Yeah. If you really get into the serious modding, which if you're going to play on PC, you should.
You should, right? You should.
Yeah. Then you'll definitely run into trouble. So
that's my New Vegas stuff. I only touched a little bit to make sure it worked this week. Getting the TV set up, and I don't have the new one for the main room yet, so I'm currently TV-less in the bedroom. But I started the shuffle. It's kind of like playing 3-card Monty. It's going to be 3 TV Monty around my house. Where does things end up? I don't know. But hopefully I get the new TV this weekend as planned, and then I'll just keep trading up. But I'm excited to play here. I cannot give up some of the upgrades and improvements with the PC. It's working well. And then this week, it was Turkey Day, of course. That's been a big thing. So I actually wasn't home to game a lot of the week. What I did, I actually traveled to see, obviously I talk about my good friend Shreds from El Gato Pub plenty because she and I have been streaming together for 6 years now. And we met in person for the first time last year. And this year we had Thanksgiving together.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Went out to her house. We did a little cooking stream. I kind of showed up on that. I ended up working remotely from her house for part of the day, because I couldn't get the full day off, but I wanted to get out there. And so, got some work done, did a cooking stream, had a great Thanksgiving. And it's great because like I said, we have met in person before. We've been friends for years. And you talk to somebody online all the time, they become a really good friend like us. You don't even meet in person. But at least you I see face to face more than I see some of them I'm on headset with. But she's just in person, she's just like she is on stream and same person exactly. So we had a great time. We played board games. I'm not going to say I let her win, but she's very competitive. I am too. So, Yeah. So I competed, but she won fair and square. And we put together a Lego set of like 1,500 pieces. Like it was the kind of just fun that you always look forward to. Like, I don't know about you, but with Thanksgiving with family, one of my favorite parts, besides the turkey and fellowship, is really like playing board games and that sort of thing. So, I don't know if you do that these days, but like the family risk games, stuff like that. I love it.
Yeah, no, I avoid the family games because they get a little competitive.
They sure can. I also like the Risk Less Forever. That is where I got my love of strategy games. Was actually at the table with my dad's side of the family, the Grahams. Shout out to the Grahams out there. Shout out to cousin Jamie, cousin Jeff, everybody, and of course all the cousins, aunts, and uncles. We would play Risk for days. Like we would sometimes start a game on Thanksgiving around to like 4 or 5 in the afternoon. That would go until the next afternoon. We'd have to stop, go home, and come back to finish, you know? And we tried diplomacy once or twice. It was a little bit too long for Thanksgiving, but no, it was a great time. Love them and all those Thanksgiving memories. So did the same thing with my friend Shreds and her husband too. And yeah, we had a great Thanksgiving. So I just got home earlier today, got unpacked, got things set up, and got everybody's feedback ready. So that's kind of been my week. It's been a really good one.
Cool.
How about you, Ray?
So I haven't played any more Outer Worlds 2. I haven't played Cyberpunk in a long time. I've been jonesing on that a little bit. But I've played a lot of No Man's Sky this week. You know, playing around with some of the stuff I haven't really done in the game.
In a while, or new stuff?
No, I never really played around with the abandoned world because I didn't really see the point.
Right.
But there was the Breach expedition, which was the last regular season expedition that we did, was set in abandoned worlds.
Mm-hmm.
And so I decided to go ahead and start playing around with that. I think I'm over it. But it's
okay, but you tried it out. What are abandoned worlds exactly?
So there is no other life form other than creatures. So, you know, there's nobody to interact with. There's nobody to trade with. There's nobody to get, you know, components from. It's just you and the world.
Is it almost like the original experience in a way? Like stripped down to how it started? Or a little bit more systems than there were back then?
I mean, there's more stuff available to you, but it's really, I can see where this would have been a much bigger challenge in the pre-Corvette, you know, period. But once we got Corvettes, you know, you are able to put together a really good ship without any trouble.
Okay, which is something you certainly couldn't have done before.
No, before all you could do was find abandoned ships, and they're all broken. And you got to fix them, and it's, you know, it takes a lot of effort and everything. So yeah, the Corvettes made it pretty easy to deal with, but it was fun. I'll probably dip back into it every once in a while, but I think I've tested it out. I've seen the limits of it, and so.
Good to explore and spend some time with one of your other major loves, of course.
Yep.
Speaking of which, so you didn't play Outer Worlds 2 really this week. That makes sense. You probably didn't touch New Vegas a lot, waiting to do the quest this week, I would guess, or did you play some?
Oh, are you kidding me? There's so much to do.
I know there is. I just wasn't sure because I know you're also playing Nolvis in Skyrim. So did that continue this week?
So
I figured that was going to take most of your time.
Yeah. Well, and that takes a lot of time, but you don't get much done. Because you just don't go around owning stuff like you do in normal Skyrim.
Oh, really?
It's a lot
carry limits
tougher.
And stuff, or
it's
owning as in fighting.
Yeah, it's a lot tougher. So it's taken quite a bit to get used to it and get my character up to where I'm staying alive for more than 3 or 4 minutes.
Congrats! Wow, it's that tough. I mean, I know, like, when running last playthrough with Beasts of Tamriel and some harder creatures, it really does change things. And I'm sure Nolvis does so much more than that.
Yeah, it does add a lot of stuff. And it really gets you because you become accustomed to where it's safe to just run around and, you know, where it's not. But this puts stuff everywhere. So a road that you're used to being able to run down, okay, there's going to be a saber cat once I get down here. Well, you know, then all of a sudden you get jumped by a bunch of, you know, these strange creatures. I came across
add a lot of new creatures in there. Like, are we getting like goblins up from Oblivion and other creatures?
Goblins and the ogres, and I came across some kind of, it wasn't a hag raven, but it was
like a harpy,
a crypt hag.
A crypt hag. Huh.
Yeah. or a grave hag, something like that. But anyway, you run along and you're running up to a word wall and standing there absorbing the word, and all of a sudden this creature comes out of the water next to you. It starts wailing on you.
Oh gosh. That is interesting. Yeah, because you figure you beat a dragon priest. You finish off a dragon, you're getting the word wall, no problem. Everything's home free. But no.
No. But it's been a lot of
exciting.
fun. It's been a lot of fun. But yeah, again, most of my time this week was spent in New Vegas because there's a lot of quests that aren't on the schedule.
Right, exactly. Because we're pretty much only doing main quests. Like these first 2 episodes, I mean, I added some basic additional quests to make sure we play them. But beyond that, it's only main quests listed. Because people want to do side content. It's a long season. Do how you want. Do you want to help the NCR until you don't? Go for it. Yeah.
So, and silly little things like going back to Prim
Mm-hmm.
after a few days, and you get some NCR deserters turn raider that try to shake you down at the Bison or at the Vicky and Vance.
Yep.
So took them out. So now I got to wait another few days, and I'll be able to come back and gamble because that opens up the Vicky and Vance as a
Right.
casino.
I forgot about that scene. Yeah, got to go back and get that, and then it becomes a regular casino afterward.
Yep. And still trying to get my stupid 10mm silencer. I was I was watching somebody's stream on New Vegas, and they're like level 4, and they go up to a trader, and there it is right there. That's what I want. I want that 10mm silencer. I've been to that trader, didn't have it because their loot's random.
Okay.
And so since the game knows I want a 10mm silencer because it felt me think it,
Mm-hmm.
it knows now to make sure that that's not in anybody's inventory.
Yeah. So by random, you mean it's not denying you what you want.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which is how it's programmed. I'm positive.
It's amazing. Like the thought sensors. Another reason to play on console, y'all. Console can't do that. But I'm on PC now too, so I expect to run into such things.
Yeah. Because the PC is all interconnected. So when I look something up on the wiki,
oh, it knows.
It transmits that info to the game files. It says no 10mm silencers.
Denied. Yep. No,
So
I totally get
I
that.
even
Well, I
went-
hope you find one.
I went all the way up to Vendertron.
Right. Yeah, because he has most everything up there.
Yeah, not a 10mm silencer.
The guy under the 188, any of them?
Both of them. The gunrunner under the bridge and the NCR guy up on top.
I wonder if we're gonna have to wait for the boomers or something. Like I'm just trying to think where else has DRA stuff.
No,
that
because
might
this
cycle
this
it
other
in.
person got it at level 4. I'm
Yeah.
at level 9.
Rude.
So rude. So I may have to go into Freeside and check with Mick and Ralph.
And you're siding with the NCR this time again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is what you did, I think, last playthrough. I think you were NCR too, but I'm not positive.
Was I?
I mean, it was 3 years ago. Who knows?
Yeah, I
3.5
don't
years
remember.
ago. But yeah, because I mean, I hadn't done Yes Man officially, and I feel like you were NCR and hadn't done them, or at least hadn't done them in a long time. And
No.
it's interesting because people were talking in chat how none of us got Legion.
Yeah.
It might be fun to explore that path, like partway through, like just save and fork it a little bit and give it a try for one of us. But we'll see. We have at least one Legion player, maybe 2, I think, sending in feedback because we've got the 10 feedbacks. In fact, let me just give a quick shout out to people in chat because we mentioned everybody in feedback, but we also in chat right now we've got John, Lee, Rando, Sulior, and the Man in Black, aka AX4X Boost. AX4X Boost will be sending in feedback. He says next time, and we've got it like we rolled 17 characters. We got 10 feedbacks, but people don't need to send in feedback every week. Just catch us up. It's totally fine to take a break, catch us up, check in, check out as you do things. But yeah, and just happy Thanksgiving all. Everybody's talking about the Thanksgiving and stuff like that. So I'm just glad people had a good time.
Yeah, for sure. So, but yeah, it's fun to be back in the Mojave.
I'm glad you really enjoy. I mean, I am the little bit I've done now that I'm getting comfortable. That first week it's a little tentative, put steps in, but you've seen it with everybody that like it's good to be back. I mean, it's one of our favorite games, most of us. Andrew will learn. Maybe. I feel like he's getting a little bit better about it every time.
Yeah. So I think I've been kind of holding off on doing the Helios one, but I think I might go ahead and do that.
Yeah, I mean, do that over the next week, because when we check in next week, we'll be talking about our quests up through Novak and Boulder City, right? Like we're doing all that, basically all the way as far as you want up to New Vegas, but not entering the Strip yet. If I remember correctly, because I wanted to get us to the Strip in only 2 episodes instead of 3 this time. So, you know, anything you want to do along the way and report back on, I think that'll be good. But we're definitely doing Come Fly With Me, anything in Novak we want to do, and Boulder City Showdown. So at least finish Boulder City, get to the 188 if you don't get to Freeside. But I have a feeling some people will. Because they're happy to be back.
Yeah. Well, and now it's a lot easier for me because I can, you know, fast travel so many places because I've been all the way, you know, just outside of Freeside.
Mm-hmm.
So,
are you going to do implants? Are you doing implants yet? I
haven't yet, but I definitely will.
Yeah, I had an endurance of 6. So, I mean, endurance kind of talks about your implant cap. So it's not the highest I could get, but it's not bad. I can definitely boost some stuff.
Yeah. So, yeah, at this point, I'm getting back to where I need to be so that I can pass some. I'm within a magazine of Speech 50, so I'm pretty comfortable there. I need to bump my lock pick a little bit because I can't pick a level average lock.
Average lock. Yeah, that's the thing to remember with New Vegas. I mean, I know you know, but a lot of people forget that it's not just 30 is better than 25. There are levels. 25, you know, you get your easy, and 50, you get your average, right? And 75, you get your hard, or whatever they call it. So yeah, I'm over easy. I made sure to get that early on because I don't want to miss too much loot. And my speech is at 50 already because my girl is so boosted on soft skills.
All this time, I thought you were sunny side up.
Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah. But yeah, my character's focused on soft skills. I need to get the combat up before I go much further because right now I'm not the toughest yet. That's for sure. Another reason why I chose Prim Slim. I was a little bit nervous about hitting the powder gangers until I get another level or 2.
But yeah, so it's good to be back in the desert.
Awesome. No Man's Sky, the Mojave, and a bit of Skyrim. Anything else this week?
That was it.
Yeah, same as last week. Totally. Same with me. I love it. Well, do you want to get into our feedback then? Because I can't wait to hear what people have been up to.
For sure.
Okay. So we got all this sent in by email from people. I started an order. I may change it as I play. We'll see. But we got some emails too. So the first one I'm going to play is from Jeff, our buddy Jeff L. And he says, this is from Rocket Bellwether's long-lost cousin, Hazel Bellwether. Rocket being Andrew's character this season. So let's hear what Jeff had to say.
Hey, Fallout friends. Jeff, a.k.a. Still Falling. Back and excited about the new season. Last New Vegas Roundtable was my first time participating in a Roundtable, so being back in New Vegas is kind of special. Last time I played a Legion character, and it was not the best of times. I had a good time playing it, but it was a bit rough. This time around, I am playing as an NCR character, so I'm the quote-unquote good guy. My role is actually pretty balanced this time. A lot of 5s and 4s, a couple 6s. My strength and endurance are 7s, so this time around, I'm going to be able to take advantage of the implants. The last run, I think I might have had an endurance of 2. My tag skills are guns, explosives, and repair. This kind of goes into my normal playing style, but I normally sneak around with a rifle. This time I'm kind of throwing TNT and blasting with a shotgun. She's a female character named Hazel Hex Bellwether. She knows her name because it was etched into the sturdy caravan shotgun that was strapped to her leg when she was brought into the dock. There was also a toy car, a little tin toy car, in her bag with the name Hex also etched into it. One thing that she does remember before her previous life is that she does have a love for old toys. Knowing that, she definitely, everywhere she goes, she searches every enterable building, searching for old toys. So by the time I got to Novak, she had around 30 toy cars and a few Nuka-Cola trucks already. She knows it's wrong, but she really wants to break into the back of the Dino Bite gift shop at night and get that collection of toys that Cliff is hiding in that back room. As for quests, the tutorial went well. Saved the girl by the well, so the town likes me. Then I helped Ringo, and I got help from everyone in the place, because if you search around, there's magazines, and just most of the mailboxes have magazines in them. So when it came to the skill checks, I just pop a magazine, and they were pretty simple. So I had support from the whole town. So that was pretty easy. No casualties. The Joe Cobb's gang is done. Before I headed south, I went up to get the Chance's knife. I'm not a melee character, but in the off chance that I need it, it's there. Walking out of town, I got stopped by Malcolm Holmes. He was asking about star caps. Claimed he didn't know anything about them after a few questions, and I said I didn't know anything about them.
Almost took him for a raider.
The fact that he brought them up, I didn't trust him because he's saying he didn't know anything about them. So I did have a decent amount of these star caps in my pocket, so I knew he was kind of following me. My previous Legion character decided to come out a little bit, and I killed him and looted his body, and he did have 6 caps. So by the time I got to Novak, I had 25 of the caps already, so I'm on a good momentum to get that guy. Get 50, I think it is. The situation in Prim went pretty smooth. I blasted my way through the hotel and freed Beagle. I waited till everyone was dead because he's no help anyway, so it would have been pointless to free him to ask him for help. I went the NCR route for the mayor. Apparently, when you get up to who you need to talk to, it was Major Knight. It only takes 20 barter to convince him. I'm a pretty low charisma, but I had 20 barter, so I was able to convince him to send more troops to Prim. On my way through Nipton, the Legion tried to use me as their courier without paying me. So after a tough fight, the Legion don't like me anymore. After that, I checked into the hotel in Novak to catch my breath. So that's kind of where I stand in that. Noteworthy discoveries in my travels. There are a lot of magazines in the mailboxes, and mostly Good Springs. I'm sure mailboxes probably have a bunch of them. I know in downtown, in the strip, the little boxes have a bunch of mailboxes in there, the little newspaper stands. The Prospector's Den has jackals that had cowboy repeaters, so good, easy, early way to get some cowboy repeaters. Right. Prim's Pass, bad idea. I forgot about Prim's Pass. I knew the name sounded familiar, but don't go there early. The Bison Steve Hotel gift shop is a lot of toy cars and a lot of pre-war books. So if you're looking for either one of them, Hazel is definitely a fan of the toy cars. You go back to Good Springs, between the bar and the store, there's a bunch of crates that you get a whole bunch of free Sunset Sarsaparilla bottles. So a good chance of getting a bunch of star caps that way. And one final thing, I did pick up my follower, which was Eddie. I have a hybrid periscope, and then I forgot what the name of the perk is, but the one where it doubles your magazines, instead of 20 instead of 10. Popped the magazine, and I was able to repair Eddie, no problem. And that dude is a beast in a fight. So, with that being said, I'm out of here. I will see you guys at Quarry Junction.
Beautiful. So that skill for the extra magazines, is that comprehension maybe, or educated? I think it's one of them. I think it's comprehension maybe, double point. But that's awesome. And yeah,
one of those early ones.
Mentioned you got Eddie. I will say a lot of people got Eddie as an assigned companion, but that just, that really is just another way of saying, hey, leave it open too, because travel with Eddie, but you can grab somebody else if you want along the way.
Yeah, you can always have a humanoid, as it was put in the Discord chat.
Yep.
One humanoid, one non-humanoid.
Exactly. Absolutely. And I would never, there's rumors in chat that I would encourage people to go straight to the quarry. No, but Prim Pass, check it out. Good times.
I mean, that guy's blind, isn't he?
How difficult could a blind creature be? I don't know. Maybe you can find out. They track you with sound. Be very, very quiet.
Yep. And I can't tell you how many times I've jump scare shot that guy that
Malcolm Holmes
that bum rushes you on I mean, you just don't jump up on somebody like that when they're wandering the wasteland.
I love Malcolm. I like getting pictures of him just walking in because he's walking for a while, and you usually meet him sometime. You meet him either between Good Springs and Prim, between Prim and Nipton, or occasionally just when you're wandering around up by Sloan and stuff like that. He's usually on the west side of the map that I've seen him first time.
It just depends on when you pick up your first blue star.
Okay, it's based on the blue star, yeah. So if you're
Yeah.
moving quickly, you'll meet him later. But he's great, and he's just one of those. New Vegas has a couple of those classic characters, whether it's about the lottery or almost mistook you for a raider, or I told them I had a theoretical degree. So
Yeah.
you love those lines, and Malcolm, he's a classic, but I like him.
Yeah. And if there is an unfortunate accident, and you're not, I cannot hold you responsible for shooting him, because he does. I mean, he
He
jumps up
surprises
on
you. Yeah.
He does have the blue star caps, but also his outfit is pretty good too for getting a little extra caps for stuff you sell.
That's awesome. Yeah, I didn't know that about his outfit. So he's good at that sort of thing. With Hex there, I like the nickname Hex. I like the backstory with toys, like bringing in that role-playing quirk that way, like knowing that was part of her background. So now he's like buying and picking up toys whenever he finds them, maybe even filching a few here and there, but that's an amazing attachment and just a fun little thing to kind of keep you moving. I like that. He sided with Good Springs, which I think probably most people will, but I'm curious if some people didn't. And then also, sounds like he chose the NCR for Prim because he talked about getting them to send extra troops,
Yeah.
right? So good stuff. Did you have anything else on Hex, Ray?
No, I think that was the main bits.
Really enjoyed the feedback, and to go from Legion to NCR, I hear a little pep in his step already, a little more pep in his step this playthrough. So next up, I want to play the feedback that came in from Lee. Lee says, "Greetings. Here is my episode 1 feedback for Lori Finch." So let's check out what Lee had to say.
Loretta Lori Finch was raised in a small, isolated settlement. She learned to value practical skills and diplomacy, when available, over brute force. But practicality wins out because some people can't be reasoned with. She woke up and was confused. She was in a Doc Mitchell's office. He told her she'd been shot in the head and dug up by a robot. Was the robot intended to get him a corpse? No. She had been saved. Doc Mitchell helped her remember her name and where she was. The robot, Victor, had said she was Mojave Express Courier number 6 and had a platinum poker chip. The doc had removed her blood-stained clothes and gave her an old vault suit and a Pip-Boy and released her into the world, in this case, the town of Good Springs, in the Mojave Wasteland. Foremost on her mind was finding out who had put her in the ground and why. Lori walked into town and found the saloon where she met Sunny Smiles and her dog, Cheyenne. Sunny began teaching Lori some things to help her survive in this wasteland. She also met Trudy, the barkeep, Chet, the shopkeeper, and a prospector and scavenger named Easy Pete. She had learned that her attacker was likely from New Vegas and was likely going there by way of Prim, Nipton, and Novak. Practicality distracted her, and she scavenged what she could along the way and discovered a bit more about the area and the people in it. Lori made her way south to Prim. In Prim, she found it had been taken over by a gang called Powder Gangers, some ex-cons from a nearby NCR correctional facility, and the local deputy sheriff was taken. There were some new California Republic, NCR, Rangers outside the town, but there weren't enough to fix the situation. Lori took it upon herself to clean up Prim, since no one else seemed to want to, and she needed more information about her attacker. The sheriff, Beagle, didn't survive, sadly, but she managed to take out the Powder Gangers. The townsfolk hardly thanked her, and Johnson Nash of the local Mojave Express office asked her to figure out where they'd get a new sheriff. Since she didn't want the job, she recruited a Protectron robot in the Vicky and Vance casino to take the job. Lori then talked to NCR Rangers Lieutenant Hayes and Sergeant McGee about their manpower problem and was recruited to travel to the NCR Mojave outpost and convince Major Knight to send them some reinforcements. With that done and an additional quest to Nipton given by Ranger Sniper Ghost, She returned to Prim to report her success. She discovered an Eddie robot that Nash said she could have, and then she went back to Good Springs looking for robot parts. Good Springs was harboring a caravaner named Ringo who was being hunted by the powder gangers. Lori asked around town and enlisted some help. Then she and Ringo, Sonny, Smiles, and a few others took out the gangers when they made their assault. After taking them out, Lori was more appreciated around town. Lori returned to Prim, and Lieutenant Hayes said that he'd assigned Sergeant McGee to be the sheriff and that this would make Prim part of the NCR and that citizens would have to start paying taxes. Lori was now less popular in Prim than in Good Springs. Thus, she headed to Nipton. On the way, she encountered a boatload of giant ants. She didn't want to take time with them and broke out her 40 Mike grenade launcher. Soon thereafter, she came across more raiders and was plinking away at them. When the last two came out of cover, she switched back to the 40 millimeter, and just before it hit, she heard one say, "Holy shit!" Bonus content. Lori walked over to the Vicky and Vance and talked to Johnson Nash about needing a sheriff. Then she asked if the V&V's robot Prim Slim could be the sheriff, and he didn't see why not if she could reprogram it for that. She went over to Prim Slim and opened a panel to access the user interface. From there, she accessed the personality adapter and selected the law enforcement protocols and pressed the reprogram button. With a click and a buzz, Prim Slim was rebooted with his new personality. He stated that his law enforcement protocols had been reinstated, and he checked for and found his authorization to use deadly force. He followed that with a hearty yee-haw.
I love that ending. And can I tell you, Lee, your yee-haw came through nicely loud. It was great. I was going your feedback. I'm like, oh my goodness, what's that spike at the end? It's a yee-haw. So that's what I heard first from your feedback when I was leveling it.
Yeah. Just enough distortion to match Prim Slim.
It was perfect. It was great. I love the yee-haw. I love Lori's story. And I think it was neat the way that he approached it in a different order. Because so often, we'll be in Good Springs and we'll do all the Good Springs quests. But, Lori woke up, dealt with the doc, was feeling better and started exploring, went down. It sounded like he went to Prim first and, tried to rescue Beagle. Beagle didn't make it, unfortunately. I'm curious if Beagle didn't make it, like if he wasn't able to bandage and heal him to help fight, or if he ran in like face first with his gun and got himself shot. How does Beagle die? Because Beagle didn't die for me this time either. I don't remember the last time he did. Do you have to encourage him to get in there and like taunt him into fighting with you? Because I usually go in without him and just tell him to,
Yeah, if I think it's a speech check to keep going. Now, you could, if you snuck in to where he's at, you could tell him to leave, and then he would try to leave, and all the convicts would still be in there.
Yeah, I keep him laying low. So no, that would be a way to go too. Lee says in his case, he was just an idiot and stood there without seeking cover. So he must have stood up to fight. But yeah, I like the way that
if Lee's killing everything with a 40 millimeter grenade launcher,
collateral damage might happen.
He might have just been standing too close to the raider.
Just the things that need it, Lee says. Just the things that need a 40 millimeter. But yeah, so Beagle, R.I.P. Beagle, we hardly knew you, but that's okay anyway. Also, talking about finding Eddie and getting the robot parts and going back to Good Spring to get the robot parts. And that's where he met Ringo and started doing that stuff. And so I just thought that was a neat order to kind of bounce back and forth between the teams there, between the towns there, and have a reason to do it that way. For people who want to repair Edie or Eddie, if you don't know this already or you haven't already done it, which I know a lot of people playing along haven't, but people listening, have, but people listening may not have yet in some cases. If you right nearby, it's called Atomic Wolf Radio, or there's a just to the west, north,
Lone Wolf?
Lone Wolf Radio, I think. So there is a little old trailer there from an old kind of pop-up radio station, and it has everything you need in it. Like you go there, you'll get what you need to repair Edie, and it's not that far. It's just a little bit west, a little bit north from where you are. So just one way to do it if you don't find the stuff or don't want to wait. But yeah, also, I like the bonus content. Thank you for that, Lee. Kind of filled it out. And the pictures, too. One thing he shared that was fun was Tumbleweed Pete. So we got the tumbleweeds outside Good Springs because they can get a little active sometimes. You can kind of knock them around or they get moved in the firefight. and Pete's just kind of hanging out there wearing it like a ghillie suit. Okay. Well, next up, we have feedback from our buddy Technomancer. So let me see. Yeah, this is episode 1. He's been in Discord for a while. I think he's played along with us before, but this is his first time sending in feedback, I believe. So this is for June Boom Finch from Technomancer, and let's give it a listen.
This is Technomancer, and this is my first recording for June Boom Finch. Made a couple of edits to my character role for June. I changed the Built to Destroy trait to Wild Wasteland, and I changed my tag skill guns to explosives. Name's June Finch, though most folks end up calling me Boom, not because I'm loud, but because things around me have a habit of exploding. Here's how my story kicks off. I woke up in Doc's house in Good Springs after some jackass put a bullet in my skull and left me for dead. My memories were scrambled eggs, but I knew my package had been stolen. The casino chip must have been valuable. That was the only thing I could ascertain from my attempted murder. Sunny Smiles helped me get off my feet. Nice girl, good shot. She even handed me a varmint rifle and took me out to clear some geckos. Those little monsters got the drop on a local while we were out there. First day back on my feet and Def's already following me around. The bartender told me about a powder ganger group shaking down the town. Normally I'd stay focused on hunting the men who attacked me, but I can't stand bullies. Those cons have been bothering these good townsfolk who helped me get back on my feet. I convinced the local barkeep to convince the others in town to back my ambush on the powder gangers. I picked up a silencer at the general store. One of those habits I have, buying every mod and old world part I find. Pays off more often than not. While scrounging around for supplies, Barton Thorne tries to lure me into a trap. Bad move. I cleared the geckos with a silenced rifle, then tossed a perfect dynamite pitch that blew up a whole pack of the little monsters. On the way back, Barton pulled a gun on me. I answered him with my shotgun. He ran and hid behind a rock. I lobbed a dynamite that bounced off another rock and right behind him. The explosion turned him into red confetti. Back in town, I helped set the ambush for the powder gangers. 2 sticks of dynamite opened the fight. Half the gang gone in an instant. Townsfolk finished the rest. The last one tried to hide behind a house. Shotgun ended that conversation. After finishing off the gang, I then headed out of town to Prim to find the men who stole the chip. Same powder gangers have taken over Prim. They killed the sheriff and took the deputy hostage in the local casino. I slipped in through a back door by picking the lock and found the deputy with 1 guard, dropped him with a silenced varmint rifle. 2 more rushed me. Shotgun solved that. If townsfolk wanted me to become their new sheriff, I don't exactly have time to start a career in law enforcement, but I promised to help them find someone. Their deputy sure wasn't up to the task. I reprogrammed a robot to take care of the town. Better than enlisting the local NCR outposts. I cannot stand those pompous assholes. Out on the road, I spotted powder gangers and raiders fighting. 1 stick of dynamite tossed right into the center. Problem solved. At the Nevada Highway Patrol Station, I found the raiders' hideout, Jackals. Killed them, grabbed a magazine on weapon maintenance. Might make me shoot straighter. The truth is, I prefer blowing things apart to aiming. Then I started headed to Nipton. Once I arrived, houses were burning. A wild-eyed man ran up to me screaming about winning the lottery. Didn't make a bit of sense, but around the corner I found people crucified. What the hell is this? That's where I met a man named Volps and Colta, dressed like a Roman officer. According to him, this was justice. He told me to spread the word to the NCR. I hate the NCR. Still, information is currency, and I need caps, water, and ammo. I went to the local NCR outpost, informed them about what had happened, and stocked up on water and ammo. On the way back west, I saw a man running from 3 rad scorpions. Later, I got ambushed in a canyon. I'd found a grenade launcher in a safe back in the town. Started shooting off the grenades and took a few of them out. but in the commotion, one of the grenades bounced back and exploded close enough to hurt my leg. I need to get out of here. Found a small shack and patched myself up, slept for the night. The next day, I started heading to the town where I thought the men were. I saw an NCR skirmish with some of those guys dressed up as Romans. I decided to head away from that. I went up into hills and found a cave surrounded by Brock flowers. The place was crawling with these giant rodents of unusual size. First one charged me in a tunnel, shotgun, point blank, problem solved. I finally found a cliffs up there and opened into where I could see most of the cave. There were rodents everywhere. I very carefully slipped on by to a side chamber. 2 more rodents came at me, but the shotgun took care of them too. That's when I found a custom varmint rifle with Rat Slayer etched on the side. Beautiful scope, perfect mods, a real upgrade. Also found a radiation suit. Never hurts to be prepared. There was a bed in the alcove, but risk sleeping above a nest of giant rodents? Yeah, no thanks. I slipped out and headed toward Novak. Just a couple days from being shot in the head, I've already ran into powder gangers, jackals, these guys dressed up as Romans, and NCR, not to mention all the beasties. The Mojave's a hell of a place, but I've got explosives, a new rifle, and I'm on my way to find the men who tried to take me out. June Boom Finch.
That was some fantastic feedback, Technomancer. Wonderful first time sending in feedback and playthrough, and there's one of our Legion players right there.
Yep.
I pulled up his character sheet while he was talking because I just double checked it on some of this stuff, and yeah, he was assigned Caesar's Legion. I just wanted to make sure since that didn't come up yet in the story, but the way he reacted to Vulpes and Colta kind of made me think of it. And for role playing quirk, he got the always barters for spare parts as one of his thing, and I love the way he rolled that in there. He's talking about how he went and he got a mod from Chet early on, and how he likes to always grab a piece and always have the spare parts. And he talked about doing it again later on, I think. And yeah, I really like that part of the character.
Yeah.
You saw he got Rat Slayer too, right?
Yeah. Well, and with Wild Wasteland, it's not just giant rats; it's rats of unusual size.
Indeed, the best.
They're even bigger than the giant rats. So yeah, that's always fun. I
forgot about that extra nomenclature. Yeah, on that. I mean, he went to a lot of places along the way. So I mean, it was just I really like the Boom's storytelling style of doing this. You've got a really laid back delivery, Technomancer. That's great. Glad you took Wild Wasteland. That was good. I actually found, and maybe this is a cheat, but in the mod pack, if you go into some of the specific tweaks, you can turn Wild Wasteland always on, even if you don't get the perk. So, any of you guys using some of the same mod collections I did, if you have any of the tweaks installed, and you go through the list, you can put on Wild Wasteland if you want it on.
Yep. So I will spoil for all the energy weapon users out there. Don't have Wild Wasteland on when you go up to the far north, because the YCS 186 is much better than the Alien Blaster. And so if you've got Wild Wasteland, you get the Alien Blaster, which is cool, but unless you're a serious energy weapons character, then you want the YCS. So it's a special edition Gauss rifle.
I forgot about the YCS. Like I've seen it, but it's been so long since I played without Wild Wasteland. I totally forgot about it. I actually think my very first playthrough I didn't have Wild Wasteland, but I've used it every time since. If you're not being attacked by pink ladies with purses, what's the point?
Yeah, the grannies with the rolling pins.
Yeah. Man in Black says, with energy weapons, it should be called Gooey Mess. Indeed. Yeah. He was talking about the red confetti. Like, I liked his delivery style. I like this character. It's going to be June Boom Finch is a darker character, but I feel like also a sympathetic darker character so far. Made it all the way to Nipton, and the reaction to seeing the bodies on the crosses, you know what I mean? Like, totally understandable. It's a very what in the goddamn moment. Talking about meeting Vulpes and Cata. If you didn't know, Vulpes and Cata means uncultivated fox in Latin. Like Vulpes is fox, but in Culta means lack of cultivation. So yeah, he's a wild fox. He's a feral fox. That's what his name really means. You have anything else on a Technomancer's feedback?
I've got to look and see. I thought for sure that there was a perk that had some interesting twist on it if you blow yourself up.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah. I don't know what that would be. You're saying there's a perk where something happens if you blow yourself up?
yeah, I think I'm pretty sure there is, but I can't remember what it is right off the top. So
Yeah,
I'll
I'm
have
not
to,
sure either. I can pull up the perk list, or
I'll
maybe
have
you
to
can do
work
that
on that.
while we take and listen to the next feedback. Yeah, I think one other thing I wanted to mention too. I like the use of dynamite here. He obviously had explosives up enough to get the dynamite from Easy Pete, who tossed in 2 sticks of dynamite and half the powder ganger crew gone right away. And then the next encounter with the powder gangers, he's using dynamite on them too. I like this whole weapon of choice, using their own weapons against them.
Yeah. But I've got a mod that lets you grenades and dynamite can be equipped like Fallout 4. So you can launch them with a
using a button instead of having to hold them in your
throwing key
hand.
instead of actually having to have it equipped. So you can have a pistol in one hand and a stick of dynamite in the other.
I tell you, the more like Fallout 4 76 made the controls, the more comfortable I am. I may have started with these ones, but I've moved beyond it. And I was having conversations with a few people this weekend in the greater Fallout community earlier this week over the holiday weekend. And they were just having a lot of trouble going back to New Vegas, going back to Fallout 3. And I'm really glad for people who take the chance and take the time to do it. Even if, you're a little like Andrew and and you complain about the controls and stuff along the way, just experience it because the story is worth it. And there's just some really great stuff. So speaking of great stuff, let's get to our next feedback. Coming up, we have feedback from Rando. Yes, our buddy Rando sending in feedback for the first time on Myra Tenpenny.
Hey guys, Rando here. A quick character intro. Myra Tenpenny. She can shoot, she can talk, but she can't carry anything. Left her family of pneumatic traders to find her way in the world, but she found a bullet instead. These are going to be her diaries. When I get back to Good Springs, me and Doc Mitchell are going to have a long, serious talk about not releasing patients still under the effects of anesthesia. I know he meant well. But he let this small-framed girl walk out of his house, past the Pioneer Saloon, and right out of town. I guess I went north up the highway toward, I think, Sloan, took a hard right, and ended up over here, Trading Outpost 188. Which is okay, it's okay. I met this great lady named Veronica. She offered to walk me back to Good Springs in the morning. So, we're going to get some rest and head out. She said we can't go back the way I came, though, something about death claws. I just remember seeing some bunnies hopping around down there in their fields. Entry number 2. I saw a giant dinosaur! Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point.
Mhm.
Entry 3. Nipton appears to be on fire. We're gonna hunker down for the rest of the day and then sneak around at night. I don't want to deal with this right now. Intro. We're in Prim. I wanted to check the Mojave Express outpost, and Veronica just punched 2 guys to death. Remind me never to piss her off. But anyway, inside we found this little robot guy on the counter. So I messed around with him for a minute and put him back together, and now he's floating and following us. His name is Eddie. Entry 5. Whoa, what a day. We're back in Good Springs. Or I'm back in Good Springs. Ran around with sunny smiles for a while this morning. Great lady, super modest, love her to death. But of course, we had to deal with these powder gangers that broke out of the NCR correctional facility. I tried to talk to Joe Cobb just to, de-escalate the situation, but he wasn't having it. It was join us or die, one of those type. But the whole town banded together, except for Easy Pete. We let him keep his dynamite. And we defeated the powder gangers. I guess I'm vilified or something by the villains now. That makes a lot of sense. Anyway, I talked to Chet and a few others. I guess we're heading back to Prim so I can get some information on this guy that shot me. And something about a robot dug me up. but I haven't seen him yet. I'll check in later. Tree 6. Is there anywhere in the Mojave that doesn't have some weird town fight going on? I just up to talk to Mr. Nash, and I had to go rescue Deputy Bagel. I know his name's Beagle, but he doesn't deserve his actual name. From all these convicts that kidnapped him and had him hunkered down in a kitchen in Buffalo Steve's or whatever. And then he has the audacity to try to skip out on me. I told him, no, you're coming with us. And he agreed immediately. So either I'm really intimidating, or this guy's the biggest coward I've ever met. After we cleared out Buffalo Bills, went back and talked to Mr. Nash and the rest of the town. They were all saying they needed a sheriff. I don't understand why these people can't protect themselves. Prim is bigger than Goodsprings, and Goodsprings fought off these same people. Guess I'm going to make a trip up to the NCR outpost. Entry 7. Prim is now under NCR jurisdiction. Everybody's complaining about taxes now, but before that it was convicts, and before that, I'm sure it was something else. If you're not willing to step up and protect yourself, then you take what you can get. I traded a few things with Mr. Nash, and went and had a talk with the cowardly Bagel. The guy that shot me is heading toward Nipton, I guess. Maybe that's the reason it's on fire. Guess we'll find out tomorrow. Entry 8. The answer is no. There's no town in this place that doesn't have something crazy going on. Now there's guys in skirts wearing dog heads, being super self-righteous and judging everybody. At least this Legion clown just wanted to monologue. I'm really starting to hate this place. We're heading to Novak. Hopefully I can get a room. You know what? Seeing that giant dinosaur might just brighten my spirits. And I know I'm a little over. Just wanted to say real quick, thank you guys for letting me do this. And yes, I left Goodsprings, walked over to 188 via Sloan, and got to Veronica before I reached level 2. It was a great time.
Yeah. So Rando is doing the Lee thing and giving us he's always talked about how much he enjoyed it. So for his first feedback here, he is providing pictures along the way. And I will tell you the reference at the beginning about about Doc Mitchell should, take a look at his license, not let people walk out with head damage. Well, yeah, Rando apparently went unclothed all the way to meet Veronica in the local 188. And that's hilarious. The bunnies were death claws. Just, there's a little bit of a difference. Those are danger bunnies. Danger bunnies are different than regular bunnies.
Yeah. When he posted the first picture, I've got a bright light in my eyes and it's really dark.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked like he had a character that was using the same mod that yours was. And then he had just done a little black rectangle to cover the private parts.
Covering her buttocks. Yeah, no, it's just, it's the default underwear. So Rando is also playing on New Vegas, on console. So like we have in the past, he's playing pure vanilla with the DLCs, I believe, but on console. And so that's why he mentioned, Sunny Smiles being super modest, because he's tweaking some of us who are maybe adding a few mods, going a little bit booberella. But yeah, I really like the way you're doing this with diaries. I like the way you're relating the character. I also like, just the humor she's done. Going to pick up your companion right away. That's very cool because it is fun to have your assigned companion as quick as possible. And getting Veronica, that makes perfect sense. So we got that. We got making it to the 188. I'm glad Veronica helped you get escorted back to Goodsprings and put some clothes on. Went and got Edie too. And the town situation. That is a really good observation, Myra Tenpenny. Every town. Goodspring and the Powder Gangers, Prim and, Powder Gangers again, but taking over, it's Bison Steve, by the way, Bison Buffalo, a little bit different. We've got the NCR with their complaints. We've got Nipton. That was just great. The answer is no. No, they all have a problem. And just wait till you get to Novak and Boulder City. It's the same thing.
Just take a run over to Searchlight.
Oh, no, not Searchlight. Oh, they've got no problems at all. That place is rad. You'll love it. Oh, my goodness.
All right. So I did find those perk.
Okay. What is it?
So it's called Tough Guy. And if you become crippled 50 times,
mm-hmm.
You get it's one of the challenge perks. So you get crippled 50 times, you get the tough guy perk, and you take 20% less limb damage.
Nice. Okay, that is a very useful perk there. Lee put in one too called Hit the Deck. Is that in New Vegas, Hit the Deck? I think it must be if he looked it up. I'm just kind of searching for it right now. But he says it also provides protection against your own explosions, which helps you survive self-inflicted damage from explosives. I'm just double checking if that is in New Vegas.
So doing this research, I realized that there's a perk that I never realized existed. And now I'm having to rethink my character perks.
Yeah, no, that's smart. And yeah, it's explosive 70. Lee just dropped the link. I just found it, Lee, as well, but I see you dropped the link. And yeah, at level 70 explosives, you can get Hit the Deck, which is 25% damage threshold. So that is definitely a good one to have there.
So there's a challenge perk called Meat of Champions.
Meat of Champions?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And so if you cannibalize Mr. House, Kaisar, the King, and Aaron Kimball.
Oh, the President Kimball. Okay.
Then you get +1 to luck, strength, charisma, and intelligence for 60 seconds every time you consume a corpse.
My goodness, the Meat of Champions. You know, you eat all the leaders, you become the leader. That reminds me of like Diablerie in Vampire, that you eat your sire and get their powers. That's crazy. That is awesome. And that is actually in the base game as a perk?
Yep.
Wow. I have obviously I've never played Cannibal.
It's one of the challenge perks. So, you know, there's quite a few of them.
Right. Yeah, right. Because you do certain things and you get a buff from it for sure.
Yeah. And so, but that's one that I've never managed to pull off.
Yet. Oh, speaking of eating things, I just want to mention one more thing. So he's calling Beagle Bagel. Cracks me up. But may I just say, he's bagel a lot of people's playthroughs because that boy has ended up with a hole in him. That's what I'm hearing. Last couple playthroughs, boy's got a hole in him just like a bagel. Okay, coming up next, let's see. So we've heard from Jeff, Lee, Technomancer, and Rando. Let's jump into our friend Calm Horizons and see who he's playing.
Hey there, Fallout feed. This is Matt, Calm Horizons on the Discord, and with me again, I've got Nikki. Say hi, Nikki.
Hello.
Hi, Nikki.
And here we go. So this is the first feedback of this Roundtable season. I was assigned the character Stella Wren, which is a fun name, and I specifically asked for an unarmed character. So I was assigned the skills Unarmed, Survival, and Sneak. And since I got the Survival skill, I thought that I would go with Hardcore mode as well, because those go well together. So in the tutorial, it is time to shoot the bottles with the varmint rifle, and I had shot 2 of the bottles already when Nikki told me, why don't you go punch a bottle? And I thought that was a very good idea, but I've already shot 2 bottles. Let me just shoot 1 more bottle, and then I'll go punch a bottle and see, what they say. But of course, you shoot the 3rd bottle, and that part of the tutorial is over. And I'm kicking myself. I really wished I'd have gone up and punched a bottle. That just would have been very funny. So now we go to fight the geckos at the water pumps. I've put away the varmint rifle. I'm just using my bare fists, and the geckos are no trouble. I'm killing the geckos in just a few punches, and I think, okay, this is going to work. I can handle this. And then much later, it's time to save Goodsprings from the powder ganger attack. And by this point, I've got some boxing gloves on, and so I go to fight the powder gangers. I just walk up to the first guy he's got like a knife or something, and I punch him a few times in the head, and he falls down on the ground because that's what boxing gloves do. But he's still fully alive. He's just passed out, and I spend punch after punch after punch trying to kill this guy. I take off the boxing gloves at one point, thinking, well, maybe I'll do more damage just with my bare hands. I'm not sure I did. It just took forever to kill him, and by the time he was dead, everyone else was dead.
If the boxing gloves are meant to knock someone out, would they do more damage than a normal weapon or your fists or something?
I don't know. I didn't test that. Like I say, I tried taking the gloves off, but I couldn't tell whether I was doing more damage or not. Either way, like it wasn't like I was blazing through punching him with my bare fists either.
Right.
So I knew I needed to find something else to do for damage. Made it to Prim, and fortunately, Mr. Nash and the Vicky and Vance, he was selling a bladed gauntlet. And so that actually does some real damage. And so with that, I was easily able to clear out the Bison Steve. And then not long after that, I found a pair of brass knuckles. And so now I've got 2 unarmed weapons that do really good damage, and I can alternate them when one of them needs repaired. So totally set for weapon damage at this point. The last idea I had, Ray was talking about working with the powder gangers and then betraying them to the NCR. And I thought that was a really fun idea. I didn't know about that before getting vilified with the powder gangers, so I knew they were going to attack me on sight. But I thought, well, I mean, if I go in there and kill everybody, maybe the NCR would be happy that their prison is clear of the rioters. So that's what I did.
Well,
it did not. Well, I mean, I did kill everyone, but the NCR, there was no prompt to tell anybody about what I had done. So I got a lot of experience for killing them. That was good. But yeah, unfortunately, poor Myers died in the prison. I got the prompt. I had forgotten that the potential prim sheriff was in there. But I mean, he shot me, so he got the fist just like everybody else. So yeah, that's gonna do it for me this week. I made it up to level 6, and I'm really enjoying being back in New Vegas. It's a lot of fun. Nikki, you got anything else to say?
I've heard New Vegas has a lot of variety in its unarmed weapon choice. Where do you plan to go for this character?
Honestly, I'm looking forward to finding that out. So far, I have used all of the weapons that I have found, but I know, I don't know. I will find out. I think that's going to do it for us. Nikki, say goodbye.
All right, bye.
See you guys in the wasteland. Bye-bye.
Goodbye, all. Great to hear from Matt and Nikki again. Yeah, I've been reading people's emails that they sent in, and he just said ahead. He said, "Here's my first feedback, new season. Got under 5 minutes barely. Thanks for the opportunity. This is going to be fun." And yeah, it's definitely going to be fun. It's great to hear from both you and Nikki again. Glad to have you in New Vegas with the unarmed. He talked about the boxing gloves, and people in chat are asking about the boxing tape. Do you know what the difference is on them, Ray?
Yeah, so yeah, they're just 2 different weapons. So the boxing tape is just hand wraps.
Is it faster? Probably like faster speed with the boxing tape. I think maybe.
Yeah, I think most of the unarmed are pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
it does good damage. I know that for the unarmed. I know there's a lot of options with unarmed. The golden gloves. I pulled up boxing gloves earlier. I remember the golden gloves are the special variant you can find in the VIP area at the Lucky 38. So you can upgrade to the fanciest gloves in the Wasteland if you get those.
Yeah, there's definitely some major, unarmed. So actually, boxing gloves do less damage than the boxing tape.
Okay, so that'll do more. And I wonder, I don't know where you find it, but people were asking about it. Someone even said they already had some, so it must be out there and available. That's a good one. I've never done unarmed either. I know there are, like he said, a variety of weapons, variety of attacks, because you can do like the uppercut special attacks. And like if you move different ways while you're doing your unarmed attack, it'll change the way you hit. And it's a cool system. It's a cool system to play with.
Yeah. Yeah. And especially so with one of the cool things. So with melee and unarmed in New Vegas, when you get those skills to level 50, they unlock special moves.
Okay, that's how you get some special moves too?
Yep. So
Slimy in chat just mentioned, thinking about it, you'd actually expect lower damage with boxing gloves than fists, right? And yeah, that actually makes perfect sense now that I think about it. Fists do tend to be harder unless they're like lead-lined gloves.
yeah, so early on, you can usually find brass knuckles, which are really good.
Mm-hmm.
But once you get to the point where you can get the bladed gauntlets, those are strong. But yeah, the power fists, there's a bunch of mantis gauntlets. So
yeah,
all kinds of cool stuff. Sadly though, if you're a melee or an unarmed character, Sunny does not recognize unarmed or melee hits on sarsaparilla bottles.
She doesn't. I was wondering about that. I was going to bring it up because the punching bottles, yeah, it's good to experiment with. You know what it reminds me of more than anything is in 76, Camp McClintock. You know how you have to do the accuracy test, in order to become part of the military. there. And Andrew was the one who, in the very first days, discovered, wait, I can use grenades and it'll work. And he was running up to him and getting throwing grenades from up close and made it work the first couple times when he couldn't pass it at first with the guns. And I do think they ended up nerfing that eventually, but it was such a fun way to do it. And it totally reminded me of that.
Yeah. Yeah, he helped me with that when I was trying to do my
on console
character on console.
Yeah, if you're not used to controller, it can be a little hard to do that sort of thing, for sure.
But
he also mentioned
definitely fun punching everybody out.
He got survival as a skill, and so chose to do hardcore as well, which I will admit, when I was in character creation, while I took a little longer choosing the hairstyle, I also hovered on that for a while. Like, do I want to make this one a hardcore run? And ultimately, because it was my first time on PC and there's a lot of other variables with it, and I'm adding a lot to it already, I'm like, no, I'm not going to complicate it. But there is an achievement for doing a hardcore run from the very beginning. Even though you can switch to hardcore anytime, if you do it from the very start, there's an achievement, which if I was on Xbox, I think I would have taken it because I want that achievement. But and I don't have it yet. So yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Let's see, clearing the prison. Yeah. That didn't go well. Sheriff Myers got the fist.
Yeah.
Fun stuff. And yeah, the NCR doesn't really recognize all your hard work, do they? When you help him clear the prison. Like, since I haven't done it yet this playthrough, since I want to level a little more before I do that and talk to them. We'll see. There's probably a line recognizing that you took care of the riot, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly how that quest is kicked off. I know there's multiple ways to do it.
Mm-hmm. Is there a way to actually get assigned or asked to do it from the outpost?
From the NCR, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But I don't remember if it's if you're trying to get the NCR to help with Prim. I don't know if that's what it takes to kick that off, to get them to say, hey,
right.
If we'd love to, but we've got the
don't have the manpower. We got that. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. But if you take care of that and remove the immediate threat, we can definitely extend our protection.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
The way that I did it was I got the quest from the Powder Gangers to find out about the NCR raid. I went and found out about the NCR raid, and then was able to go to the NCR and say, hey, I know about this. I know you're planning on this raid. Let me help.
Nice. So you already had that as an option. By talking to the troop, the one stationed outside of Prim, did they bring it up in the first place? Or where did you get the info on the raid?
No, that was with Johnson Nash.
Okay.
Because I was trying to get information for Eddie, the Powder Ganger. And when I asked Nash about it, he told me. And then that gave me the opportunity to go to the NCR and talk to them. And that's when I was able to launch that quest.
Beautiful. Any other thoughts on Nikki and Calm Horizons feedback?
No, I think he has it well in hand.
Okay, well then let's go. Next, we've got John. This is John from our Discord, and his first time doing feedback too. We have a lot of first timers here. Some of them are long-time listeners. John's he's been a Fallout Feed listener for a little while, but he's been going through all the episodes up to present. So he's listening to the recent ones, and also all the original ones. So he got to meet the original crew, some that we haven't talked to in a while, some that we still talk to regularly, and it's really great. And he just met you not too long ago, right? I think. So let's hear what he has to say with this feedback. And yeah, he recorded a couple times. This was his final version. So let's give it a listen.
This is John68UT, or just John for short. I think I have this feedback thing figured out now. Well, maybe. This is my Fallout New Vegas feedback for my character, Butch Caldwell. Jess was kind enough to roll for me in the character randomizer. Yeah. Butch is down on his luck. He has lost everything due to gambling. So no gambling for Butch. His tag skills are barter, guns, and survival. And then his specials at start are Strength 6, Perception 5, Endurance 6, Charisma 4, Intelligence 6, Agility 7, and Luck 6. Right now his barter is up to 28. Or at the start of the game, it's 28, 34, and 32. Oh, there's an His perks are fast shot, which is he fires 20% more quickly, but his shots are 20% less accurate. He also has Wild Wasteland, which according to the description, it unleashes the most bizarre and silly elements of post-apocalyptic America. I gotta pop it, and there it goes. Pop it like anyway. I haven't used skills before, and I think I just don't like I think I didn't like the drawbacks before, but we'll see how it goes. His faction is House, and his follower is Cassidy. I really like Cassidy. She's fun. And I think his starter weapon is the 9mm pistol. So far, it seems to do okay against lower level enemies and, of course, bottles. His quirk is that he needs to take a sip of Nuka-Cola Quantum before making big decisions or going into a major fight. I still haven't found Quantum yet. Maybe when we get closer to Vegas. I do have all the DLCs, so the packs started dropping on Butch as soon as he left Doc Mitchell's. But I'll still use the 9mm until I die, or until I can't anymore. I do like the sturdy caravan shotgun, and I'll probably use that for shooting flying bugs. Eat those things. Anyway, I ran out of 9mm ammo after dealing with the geckos around the springs. I don't know if that's the fast shot or if I'm just really bad at shooting. I'll have to stock up on the 9mm. I did run into one of the Wild Wasteland events at Good Springs. It's when Barton Thorne has a little side quest and sends you up to the ridge. When you're up there, you hear a little sound, and then I found Johnny Five Aces. Apparently, it's part of a failed game called the Zyborn Clock. I'm not sure what that was. And then there's also 4 red balls lined up on the ridge. They're supposed to point to another Wild Wasteland event somewhere else, but I accidentally kicked the balls over the ridge. I didn't, before I knew what this information was. Also, I was about halfway to Prim before I realized that I heard that noise, and I had to run all the way back. And by that time, Johnny had fallen back to his death down at the ridge. So anyway, I got to Prim, and I fixed up Eddie. I really like Eddie. I'll probably use him until I get to Cassidy. But I found out that Eddie shoots a lot faster and is more accurate than I am. The Bison Steves, he took out like 3 of them before I could even point my gun. But yeah, anyway, I've had a lot of fun. I hope I got this right this time. But I appreciate everybody's help and trying to help me figure this out. Anyway, thanks for letting me attend all this stuff or have fun with this. And I hope that I get to do more of these. Anyway, I'll see you guys all in the Wasteland. Thank you. Bye.
And we're glad to see you in the Wasteland, John. Well done. Fantastic first feedback. That was great. I love the way you approached it, talking about your character stats and roles and those highlights like we talked through. And that's a great way to do it. Some people do storytelling, some people do stats, some people do diaries, like various ways. But it was a fun role. And yeah, we didn't roll for him live on the show. He's like, I really want to get a role. So he was actually one of the first to get a role from when I updated the character creator and was doing some tweaks. So he got a pretty cool name there, Butch Caldwell. I was happy with that one. I'm like, yeah, good job. Good job. He got the fast shot, which I actually like the trait fast shot. And here's something interesting. Some of these do have drawbacks. Like you get the faster speed, but you get less accuracy. But if you're playing a VATS character and being assigned the 9mm pistol, being assigned pistols in general, having a faster shot in VATS will help you a lot. It does improve something. So you'll be good there. And also, that starting weapon, you don't need to use it till you die, but it does kind of point the direction that you might move your character. So like, for instance, I was assigned a laser pistol, so I'm leaning towards energy weapons. And yeah, I do start with the laser pistol, but I can upgrade. You know what I mean? It just means I'm going to be an energy weapon style character. And so you got that with the pistols, so you're being encouraged to, instead of using the rifles and shotguns, which you totally still can when you need to, but to build your character in the direction of maybe pistols and faster shooting and all that. So it's a fun thing.
Yeah, and that's the opposite trait to the one that I got, which is trigger discipline.
Right.
So My shots are more accurate, but I shoot more slowly.
Yep. Yep. It's a real trade off. And it does change. It changes your whole playthrough getting that from the start. I mean, you learn to balance. You still might have your same favorite weapons and stuff like that, but it does change the way you approach something. I'm glad he got Wild Wasteland too. That's fun. He mentioned Barton Thorn, and actually, we didn't talk about that before, but a Technomancer briefly talked about Barton Thorn too, aka Barton the Fink, because Barton will lead you astray talking about his girlfriend, and it's a trap, y'all. It's a trap.
Yeah.
But
Also known as Barton the Dead.
Barton the Dead. Yeah, he pretty much always ends up that way. Like the idea that he thinks he can ambush us. I mean, unless you have a head injury and forget to put your armor on, I think you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
But the Wild Wasteland that he mentions there with Johnny Five Aces. So there's always a character up on the edge there in a chair, kind of looking over. But if you get the Johnny, he's got 5 aces out and he's got the balls pointing, and it's a game reference. But if you do follow, you mentioned that you knocked over the balls where you could see where they were pointing, but they point towards the Indiana Jones fridge, which is usually the first Wild Wasteland thing that people see if they're looking to the left as they're leaving Good Springs out there. But yeah, that's awesome. Well, moving up next, do you have any more thoughts for John?
No, I think
Then let's go
sounds
on.
like a good role.
Next up, I'm going to play Vanessa. I think I've hit everybody in chat. Oh, got Sulior too. So we're going to do Vanessa, then we're going to jump to Sulior next. So this is coming in from Vanessa. She says, Happy Thanksgiving to you all. Look at her, not even American, and wishing us a happy Thanksgiving. Thanks so much. So she says her Good Springs and Prim feedback is attacked.
Hi, this is Vanessa, just here to introduce you to Sterling Price, Wasteland Prospector Courier and Odd Job Man. So his assigned specials were Charisma was 3, that's kind of the outlier, the rest are in the 5 to 7 range. Perks are Skilled and Trigger Discipline, which I think is 20% more accuracy, 20% slower fire and speed, something along those lines. Tag skills, Guns, Repair and Survival, so that's pretty good. Guns, he's going to be a shotgun user, which I wouldn't normally do. I normally like to keep a distance and sneak around, so he's going to be up in everyone's face this time. Going okay so far. Survival, I'm not really planning on doing a hardcore playthrough with him, so I'm just going to sort of lean into the survival by trying to use food for healing rather than stim packs. And again, that's going okay. It's just a bit of a challenge with weight, trying to haul 15 gecko steaks at 1 kilo each around versus the stim packs that obviously don't weigh anything. Sterling's assigned companion is Eddie, so that's awesome. He's my favourite Vegas companion. The backstory snippet for him off the character generator was that he's a prospector, just making do with whatever he can scavenge up to keep his gear in order, so obviously that ties in well with the repair as a tag skill. His roleplay quirk is that he likes to take the scenic route and avoids fast travel wherever possible, although I probably get lazy and the wherever possible part of that sentence will be doing a lot of heavy lifting, but so far I've not been fast travelling. So I've started off the playthrough just by doing a bit of a min-maxy thing and heading over to the clinic to get the intelligence implant, so his assigned intelligence was 6, just wanted to boost it a little bit. So I ended up coming out slightly south of Sloan, so it's a little bit of a challenge not to sort of keep far enough away from all those death claws that seem to have like 12 perception or something without going too far up Black Mountain and drawing aggro from the super mutant, so it took a few attempts to get through that area. So once I got past, I just found the durable duns, not so durable, looted caravan, picked up a couple of bits of combat armour that were there. So I wore one, sold the other, and then had to do a little bit of gambling at the Atomic Wrangler just to get enough caps for that one implant. I didn't want to spend hours gambling to get any more implants at this stage, and then headed back to Good Springs, which, again, with no fast travel, was a little bit of a challenge. And then by the time I'd got back, Victor had skipped town to make his way to the Strip, so I haven't caught up with Victor yet. Just a couple of mods to touch on since they're relevant to what I've been doing in the early games. I've got one called After School Special that turns the Good Springs School into a player home that you have to sort of renovate. So that, at one stage, required me to head over to Helios 1, so while I was there I did the Lucky Old Sun quest. And just, the option I chose at the end of that was just to route the power to as much of the region as possible. Always the goody two-shoes, my characters. And the other one that I want to talk about was just the one called Radiant Infinium that adds job boards into settlements. So it's just like fetch questy things, go and kill this thing, go and fetch that thing. But it kind of ties in nicely with Sterling, it's the courier background and the scavenger stroke prospector kind of travelling about the wastes background, and also gets you off the beaten track exploring a bit, which is good with the not being able to fast travel. It gives him things to do on all those long journeys between towns. In terms of the main game and the assigned quests, so in Good Springs, I've sided with the town, obviously not the powder gangers because I'm not some kind of monster. I managed to get all the residents on side. It was a little bit of a challenge getting. What's the old guy? Easy Pete. Couldn't find any magazines to boost explosives. In the end, I managed to... Chet was selling a hat that boosted perception, so with that and some mentats, just about got up to the skill check level for explosives to get the dynamite off Easy Pete, so that obviously made that quest pretty straightforward, just lobbing it carelessly around at powder gangers. In Prim... I was tempted to make Prim Slim the sheriff, because I made Myers the sheriff last time I played, but I also wanted to go up to the correctional facility and clear it out just to get the XP. So I ended up making Myers sheriff again, which Deputy Beagle wasn't happy about. I bumped into him later hanging around that garage just as you go into Prim and bitching about the fact that he's no longer Deputy Beagle, he's just Beagle. I don't know if that's specific to Myers being the sheriff or just happens anyway. Also picked up Eddie, my assigned companion, while I was in Prim, so I had to do the gathering parts for him. I didn't have enough repair or science to meet the skill checks at this early stage. Other than that, just odd jobs. I've been down to the Mojave outpost, done a couple of quests for them, clearing out the ants and checking out Nipton. I obviously didn't try and fight the Legion while I was in Nipton, just meekly went back to the outpost to warn them about what was going on. And that's about as far as I've got. And I think I've gone over the time limit, so... Take care, everyone. I'll see you in the wasteland. Bye.
So conscientious about that time limit. No, well done, Vanessa. That was fantastic. And yeah, especially at first we get a lot of feedback, but this is great. And hey, with Andrew out this week, it's perfect, right? Lots for Ray and I to talk about, lots to listen to. I'm loving it.
Yeah, and this can be a rough one to not fast travel because
really
there's so
can.
many stretches where it's just so far and nothing going on.
Yeah.
So,
although, as she was saying, she has added some mods to it, but that it is a harder one for that. There are some real stretches, but it does let you catch the little thing, especially if you actually pay attention to blips on the map, find little locations, and New Vegas has unmarked locations as well. But I did find it interesting that she started out saying she was avoiding fast travel, and then I decided to go get implants and min-max early. Like, I'm going to go from halfway down one side of the map to halfway up the other. And I'm not fast traveling, and I'm doing it at level 2. It was quite the choice. But sounds like it worked out. I like the journey that it kind of put her on. She mentioned going there to get the implants, getting what she could with what she got, and then going to the Atomic Wrangler to make money. Did she say that she modded the Atomic Wrangler too? I'm not sure she said that, but she mentioned, I think it was the Atomic Job Board. She said giving her character something to do while they're not fast traveling, which sounds awesome. I don't remember if she's at Atomic Job Board. I might need to go back and listen. Apologies if I forgot. But that sounds great. Having a job board and more, whether they're procedural random quests or whether they're ones that they designed. That sounds like a lot of fun. I do love that. The only job mod that I know about is a caravan guard mod where you can sign up to be a caravan guard and use some tricks with people, which is the thing you can no longer do in 76 as of Tuesday, y'all. Caravan guarding, so get it while you can.
Yeah, because one of the things about implants is that, they're not cheap.
No, they're pricey.
So, you definitely have to have ways of making money. And hitting the casinos, can be profitable, but, they also cut you off if you win too much.
Yeah. So you have to walk that line, or just win until you can't anymore.
Yeah, until you get kicked out, and then go
you
to
can
the
go
next
back
one.
in fine. You just can't keep gambling.
Right.
You do everything else there still. But that's good stuff. She mentions choosing Myers as sheriff. I honestly like that choice. I know he's a bit of a taking the law in his own hands, kind of hard ass, but I've enjoyed the times I've chosen Myers. And yeah, that is the thing with him and Beagle. Beagle can keep his status, I believe, under both of the others. I think, but he definitely doesn't under Myers. Myers will not put up with that half-assed Deputy Beagle.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just recognizes. But I think actually maybe with Prim Slim he doesn't either, now that I'm remembering. I haven't talked to him again yet, But I think that he feels embarrassed working for a Protectron or something too.
Yeah, he did bitch about that, but not as much as he does if he loses his job or if he has to pay taxes.
Yep. There you go. So I guess in pretty much every case, NCR and all that, they don't put up with him with his stuff. Yeah, Beagle now has a tin star on his wooden cross. Aw, Lee, yeah, for the dead bagels. And John mentioning that Butch also has a gambling problem. No caravan for him. It's a gateway drug. Yeah. I've never played a character that did a lot of gambling in New Vegas. I know it's how a lot of people make money, but I've done more with caravan and buying and selling. I've gambled some, but I'm outside of wanting to see what happened when you get kicked out of the casino. It doesn't happen most playthroughs. Does it for you, Ray?
No, I've had to do it specifically because most of the time you don't even care. You're doing other stuff. But I did a Luck 10 character that, I took directly from Good Springs to the Strip and, was able to clean out all of the casinos. And that's all they did. Because once you've cleaned out all the casinos, there's really no point in having that character anymore.
So, yeah, Vanessa's character's name was Sterling Price. He is a male. I'm pulling up her role, the original role. I know she might have modified a few things, and she's going to be doing Yes Man too, like me. So that's fun because you can kind of create your own morality there. Decide with who you want to side, stick with the straight and narrow or play it fast and loose. But ultimately, you're the arbiter and you're not delegating that to somebody else, for better or worse. Anything else on Vanessa's feedback, Ray? Or shall we move on to Cilior?
Yeah, let's see what Ciliori is up to.
Okay, well, we're going to hear from Mr. Ace. Right, what was his name? I don't remember his last name. It was a good one, though.
Am I good? Yes, you're good. We're already recording. Oh, shit. Hey, all you cool cats and dolls.
Yeah.
This is Ace Rockwell, back with another report from my adventures in New Vegas. So, after taking out that viper nest that kept giving me a headache, I went back to Good Springs. Something told me they needed my help. Not 2 minutes after I get there, I walk into the Prospector Saloon and Trudy was being threatened by this guy named Joe Cobb. Apparently he's a part of the Powder Gangers and they're in town looking for Ringo. She said if I wanted to help, to go talk to him up at the gas station. Oh, and I fixed her radio. I had the spare parts on me, it was no problem. Go and talk to Ringo and he directs me to Sunny Smiles. Oh, and this was after he almost shot me, bastard. The very fine Sunny Smiles then directs me back to Trudy, Easy Pete, Chet, and Doc Mitchell to see if they'll help with the cause as well. Defend their town. Thankfully, with all my experience from wandering the wasteland, I was able to convince them no problem. Even Easy Pete and Chet. Those two were particularly difficult. Head back to the gas station to give Chet the good news, and right after I do, Sunny Smiles comes in with the word that the Powder Gangers were in town and wanting blood. But with the combined might of the town, they drove those Powder Gangers off no problem. Talked to Trudy again to see if she knew where the guy in the checkered suit went, and she directed me to Prim. No problem, I've already been there. Head that way, and I talked to Johnny Nash. He remembers my case all right, once I showed him the order. Said it smelled funny from the start. Apparently there were a bunch of others that were hired to do jobs like this, but only mine was the one that had something important. Enough to kill me for, apparently. He said if I wanted to help, I needed to go into Bison Steve's. Apparently their worthless deputy got taken hostage. No problem. Went in there and cleared him out, easy as pie. Pie sounds really good right now. After clearing out some of them on the first floor, I was able to find the Beagle and untie him. Guy tried running. I convinced him to stay and help, though. Didn't put up much of a fight, unfortunately. I was the one who killed all of them. And this guy's supposed to be in law enforcement. Returned back to Johnny Nash after clearing out the rest of them, and he said that this town needs a mayor. And there's 3 options. There's the NCR, which they're not too keen on because they tax the hell out of them. Then there is the robot that's there, Prim Slim. And finally, there's a guy named Myers. Once again, somebody held hostage, this time by the Powder Gangers at the NCR Correctional Facility. I swear, every time I encounter these Powder Gangers, they're bad news. I'm getting fed up with them. Time to go exterminate them. I knew where the correctional facility was. I'd already been there and taken a few of them out on the outside. I had to unlock this door myself, which wasn't easy, but I found out a way to do it. And then I exterminated every powder ganger that was in there while Myers is just sitting on his ass in a chair, minding his own business. Barely even acknowledged I was there. When I did talk to him, he seemed like he had something shady going on in the past. Everybody's got something going on, don't they? Head back to Prim, and I decided that the robot was the best option for the mayor, so...
There you go.
Congratulations, Mayor Prim Slim. Looks like Novak is my next stop, and I'm going to have to go through Nipton to do it, so until next time, why don't I hand you over to the other guy? He's sitting behind me. Really? That was it? That was fast. You know what they say. Always leave them wanting more. I am not going to touch that. So, yeah, I have been exploring a ton, taking advantage of that quirk that I got, and even made it to Freeside. I got a few player house mods that have been pretty cool. I got 2 that are in Good Springs. One is in a bunker that gives me a lot of weapons, armor, ammo, kind of a cheat one, but it's fine. It's going to give me materials to repair my stuff with. That's mainly what I'm going to use it for. The other one has a lot of repair benches, so I'm going to be taking advantage of that quite a bit. Got one that's pretty far down south that's vault themed. It's pretty cool. But I think my favorite one is the one that's in Novak. It turns the apartment that you can rent into a player home, and it is awesome. It's so much fun. It's got so many cool pictures, decorations. There's a heart-shaped bed in the bedroom, and the TV actually works, and it plays an episode of Tom and Jerry, one of the old black and white episodes. Don't know how they were able to legally do that, but it's fun. Also, the video that Jess linked in the Discord that it kind of explains the mechanics of Caravan was actually really useful.
I recommend it.
I feel like I understand the game a bit more. So I played quite a few hands of Caravan in my stream that I did, and I've lost most of them, but I actually won a hand, and it was against Cliff at Dinky's. The only time I've ever won a hand of Caravan, ever. So I feel like I'm improving. Anyway, that really about does it. Just been having a lot of fun running around, exploring the map, and leveling up, taking out a lot of enemies, and yeah, I've just had a great time so far, and we got a long way to go, but I'm going to be enjoying every minute of it. So until next time, I will see you all in the Wasteland.
That's awesome. Yeah, so Ace Rockwell, love to hear his story. One thing about Solior's playthrough is that he has done a lot of exploring because he was given, first of all, he's streaming his character a lot. So, over on his channel on Twitch, twitch.tv/Solior, Suliore. If you want to follow him. And he's been playing through some of the quests. And so because he started early and he got the quirk of wanting to explore everything, he started exploring a lot of the map, as we heard in his character intro last week. And that's continued. But he's saving the quests and being really specific on those. So this week he went and he met Nash and went back to Prim and did that sort of stuff. It sounds like he chose Prim Slim for the sheriff. I want to mention he's also been doing a lot of mods too. He mentioned the Novak player home as a good one. And it sounds really neat. It sounds like it's kind of got the home for everything you need, just as much, or maybe even more so than the Lucky 38 suite. If you end up going with house or using the suite various ways, with Yes Man too, of course, that's very open to you if you do that, which I plan on taking advantage of this time. But yeah, adding in mods, he's one of the crew that had some fussing, who hasn't done a lot of modding recently on PC, but he got things running. So fingers crossed that stays. And you don't get too greedy on trying to add more and more and more, then boobies can only get so big. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Don't keep adding. It's not safe.
What was your character's name again?
Ace Rockwell is...
No, not his, yours.
Oh, you mean Calliope Bubenstein? In her defense, she's got a lot of defense. No, Andrew came up with the last name. Yeah, Bubenstein does Vegas. If you didn't notice, that was the title of last episode. Andrew was cackling the whole time he wrote that, I'm sure. Bubenstein does New Vegas, Rando says the clothes can only get so small also. Exactly, which is, why apparently we don't always wear them. No, she's staying covered now. We woke up naked. That was a bit of a shock. You install certain mods, these things happen. You don't even know. Doc Mitchell. Oh my goodness. I'm babbling now. Yeah, got me embarrassed. Anyway. It's a good time. And Lee, by the way, we still got 2 more feedbacks coming through, but Lee is mentioning a chat. Is next episode just to Boulder or through Boulder? So yeah, it's definitely through Boulder. As I mentioned earlier, tonight, your assigned quests are what's assigned, but you can play right up to the next one on the list. You know what I mean? So next week I've nipped into Boulder. So that's Come Fly With Me and Boulder City Showdown. Boulder City Showdown is the name of the quest in Boulder. So you're going to end up doing that. Then you want to go beyond that, that's fine. You just don't go to where you're doing Ring-a-Ding, which is the next week. So we're going to play first, and then you guys can. But yeah, if you want to go and do everything around Freeside or what have you, if it floats your boat, go ahead and do it. That's totally fine. Just don't maybe enter New Vegas until.
So one thing that will happen. So once you've completed Boulder City Showdown, and you get certain items from certain characters, it actually starts Ring-a-Ding-Ding.
When you get Boulder City Showdown from
while
after
you're
you do
in,
that.
while
right,
you're still
when you're
in
checking
Boulder
in.
City.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, it does. You actually do get it there. But I believe the next step is to make it to the strip for that. So it's fine. It's fine to start a little bit of it. Or I don't remember the exact quest stages. But yeah, it's perfectly fine to do stuff after Boulder City, but don't pursue that quest. How about that?
Yep. Don't go in the casino.
Yeah, exactly. Do not progress the quest any further than you need to keep on going. But as far as getting it to start, yeah, that's going to happen a few times. So this is good. So yeah, and Lee mentions we do those kind of mods for the clothes. See, exactly. When we sometimes stuff comes with the clothes, but we do them for the clothes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, coming up next, we have another first-time feedbacker from our friend Gene. I'm really excited to hear from Gene. He sent in a letter with his. Let me just check it out. So yeah, Gene Aubergine says, Dear Fallout Feed folks, recently rolled me a character for the latest roundtable, and I'm very grateful. Thanks. Long-time listener here, and yet I'm pretty sure I've strayed significantly from the assignment. It was a lot of fun to make. And of course, he says we don't need to play it if it's too unusual, but no, it's different style feedback, but it's great and it's fantastic. And as a listener, we do all kinds of variety. That's part of the fun. The way you want to present your character or talk about your playthrough, you can. And he says, Sterling Stash O'Malley, I love the name Stash, is a mustachioed Welshman looking for a faithful canine friend. I think he got Rex, right? Yeah, because he was named Gene, so we gave him the dog handle.
Yeah, the dog, yeah.
We couldn't help it, Gene. But he is brand new to Fallout New Vegas. So this feedback focuses on his time with Sunny Smiles, who he was convinced had gotten herself blown up during the Powder Gangers fight. So let's hear about that story.
Ladies and gentlemen, look you, before we begin, before the bullets fly and the coyotes howl, proposition. See this mustache? A fine thing, isn't it? Took me longer to grow than it did to crawl out of my grave. So I invite you, all of you, to join me on a mustache ride through the Mojave. Hold on tight, mind, because it's a rough trail. Sand in your boots, sun in your eyes, and danger at every turn. But with this mustache leading the way, tidy, we'll make it through. Shot in the skull, buried in the dirt, left for dead. Many thought he'd written the last line of my story. But here I am, stitched together, staggering back into the light. Lucky, they said. Lucky? Ha! Lucky's waking up with a dog licking your face. Me? I woke up with antiseptic in my nose and sand in my teeth. I thanked the doc for fixing me up, stole what I could from him when his back was turned, and headed for the door. Before I left, he told me to visit a friend of his, as she might help me back on my feet. So off I went to meet her. Oh, Sunny Smiles, bless her, tried to put me back in the saddle, bottles lined up, varmint rifle in my hand. I missed more than I hit, but she clapped anyway. And Cheyenne, her dog, tail wagging, looking smug as if she could have done it better herself. Truth be told, she probably could. People cheer when she barks. When I miss a shot, they sigh. My moustache drooped in embarrassment. Later, by the campfire, stars above, coyotes yapping. Sunny tells her stories. Cheyenne curls up by the flames, belly rubs and all. And me? I get sand in my boots. I yearn for a dog of my own, someone to wag their tail when I mutter about revenge. Instead, I'm talking to myself.
I told her about a fella I'd met up at the abandoned gas station, the trouble he was in and a fight coming our way. To my surprise, she offered to help. No questions asked.
Then came the ghost town gunfight. Powder gangers stormed in, shouting like they owned the place. We fought them off. But when the dust cleared, Sunny was gone. Couldn't find her anywhere. Cheyenne just sat there, not moving, staring into space, loyal eyes empty, waiting for the one voice that never came. And me, my moustache drooped, heavy with guilt. I thought she was dead. Thought I'd led her into a fight she couldn't walk away from. Watching Cheyenne lost without her, something broke in me. I wanted a dog of my own, but not like that. Time passed, and I carried the guilt with me, heavy as a pack of full rocks. Then one day I wandered back into Good Springs, just to buy supplies. And there she was, Sunny Smiles, alive, laughing, tidy as you like, as if death itself had shrugged and let her be. Cheyenne bounded to her side, tail wagging, eyes bright, and me, my moustache sprang back into life. Proud and triumphant, relief flooded me, boyo. The weight lifted off me like a storm breaking. I should have died in that grave, but I didn't. Benny tried to end me, but all he did was give me a new mission. Find him, sort him out, and maybe, just maybe, find myself a dog.
Fantastic.
That
So
was
there we
fun.
go. Sterling Stash O'Malley. I love that he ran with the nickname and ran with the dog, and it's created this character that, yeah, what a story. I'm feeling it. I love a happy ending.
I wonder where she napped off to.
Yeah, she might have been hurt, might have damaged, might have ran. Hard to say. And he didn't mention how long he stuck around town. It might have just been for the day. She was doing something else. But my heart went out to him on that story. I love the mustache effects. The idea that his mustaches are showing his mood, whether they're drooping or bringing back to life. That was fantastic. Also, took me longer to grow my mustache than to crawl out of my grave. That is a very evocative line. That is poetry. Couple of other thoughts on that too. Just the way he's going to do this with having the adventure through the Mojave. I like that. I like getting inside the character's head, and we do that with a lot of characters. This is just a different take on it, and it's fun. I'm waking up with a dog versus antiseptic. Yeah, I agree. Doc Mitchell is not as pleasant to wake up to as some things, but he was okay. His bedside manner was fine, even if he was a little bit close for comfort.
Well, yeah, but I'm glad he wasn't licking our face.
No, that's true. That's true. Giving you a mustache ride himself, but no. But Sunny Smiles and Cheyenne, I love the fact that it sparked the want for a dog in him too. That worked out well. Using the name of the quest, Ghost Town Gunfight, just really good stuff. We enjoyed it, and we got a lot of smiles and cheer alongs in chat as well. So that's awesome. We are also discussing the relative hygiene habits of various raiders and wastelanders. How much they shave or not. Talking about mustaches, I'm sure. That must be what you guys are talking about. It's a wild wasteland after all. Agreed. Anything else on that, Ray?
No, just look forward to the next episode.
Yes, absolutely. Well, our final feedback of the night comes from one of our other experienced feedback players. This is coming in from Will, and he says, I'm doing something different this time too. So, we've gotten a play-along diary from his character that he shared on Facebook now as well. He's been sharing it in the Discord each week, but he also shared on Facebook, so he may continue doing that. And then he's going to be doing the audio feedback. So let's hear what Will had to say.
A small house sits alone in the Mojave Desert, sturdy, sun-beaten, and peaceful the way older homesteads sometimes are. Rows of maize and mute fruit stretch behind it, and a pair of bighorners wander lazily near the fence. Then from the dusty road, a sound almost no one hears anymore. A car. It pulls to a stop in front of the porch. The screen door creaks open, and an elderly woman steps outside to greet it.
Grandma!
Kids!
Is Rex here?
Oh, he's somewhere around back. Probably up to trouble. Why don't you go look for him?
Some time passes. Dinner, calm conversation. The kind of peaceful domestic moment the wasteland doesn't steal as often as it used to.
Thanks again for watching the kids, Mom.
Yeah, Cal. We really appreciate this.
My pleasure. I'm looking forward to some quality time with them. So, I see you finally got that old Corvega running. Seems a few of those repair skills I taught you actually stuck. Just be careful. You don't see too many of those driving around. I've seen people killed for much less.
Mom, the wasteland's not as dangerous as when you were young.
And you had something to do with that, Cal.
He wasn't wrong. The Mojave is safer than it used to be, and in no small part due to Cal. But we'll get to that later. For now, let's jump ahead to that evening. Cal is washing dishes. Rex is curled up in a corner, snoring blissfully. The kids sit cross-legged on the floor, sorting pieces from Rad Poker, a pre-war board game. One of them holds up something that definitely doesn't belong.
Grandma, what's this?
Now, how'd that get in there? That, kiddo, is a platinum chip. And it almost cost me my life.
Is it true you don't remember being a kid?
It was true. Cal's earliest memory wasn't from childhood, but waking up on a doctor's couch in Good Springs.
You're awake. How about that?
He gave her some water, some meds, and a choice of weapon. Her eyes locked on the caravan shotgun leaning against the wall. A flash. Not a memory, more like an echo. A man's silhouette reigns in his hand. A shotgun just like this resting beside him. Someone she trusted, someone she can't remember. The doc had done his best.
But try not to get killed anymore.
But she didn't remember her name, her past, or why someone put a bullet in her skull. But she remembered how to hold a gun, how to breathe under pressure, and how to help people. Ringo was the first.
I'm a trader with the Crimson Caravan Company.
A nervous courier hiding in a gas station. Something about his caravan being attacked stirred emotions in her. Fear, helplessness, and a flash of fury she didn't understand. She rallied the townsfolk. Together they pushed back the powder gangers, but with one casualty.
It turns out that giving convicts a bunch of dynamite and blasting powder isn't the best idea.
From there, she walked the long road to Prim, past dust storms, raiders, and the burned-out skeletons of the old world. Prim was in trouble.
I don't know what it was brought you to Prim, youngster, but you might want to rethink your plans. Town's gone to hell.
Deputy Beagle might have had answers, but had been dragged off to the Bison Steve. Inside, Cal moved with an efficiency that startled even her. Once rescued, Beagle told her about the man in the checkered suit.
They said they'd be heading through Nipton to Novak to meet a contact there.
But before she left, Prim needed a sheriff.
Now you free Deputy Beagle. All Prim needs is a lawman who can shoot a gun without wetting himself.
Sheriff Myers didn't survive the NCRCF assault, so Cal turned to Prim Slim instead. And with a borrowed Programmer's Digest, she turned the robot into the politest lawman this side of the Mojave.
Law enforcement protocols reinstated, partner. Initializing use of force authorization. Authorization found. Yeah!
Then came Nipton.
Nipton was a wicked place, debased and corrupt.
The smoke. the crucified, and a Legion officer in a wolf pelt smiling like it was all a joke. Volpez Inculta called it a lottery.
Only lottery that matters. Oh my God, smell that air!
Cal called it a massacre. She didn't say much, breviloquent as always. She just let a few grenades voice her opinion and ran for cover. But the Legion vanished before the fight could finish. She pondered why she cared. She'd killed plenty of powder gangers already, so why did the Legion's cruelty feel so horrific? She pushed the thought aside and made for the Mojave outpost. Someone needed to be warned about what happened here. And that's where we'll leave this week, with Benny's trail pointing toward Novak, and her feet carrying her towards a Mojave outpost, standing at the edge of a road she's walked before, a road she doesn't remember.
That's fantastic. So thank you, Will. Yeah, we got people in chat are saying we've got a full-blown production happening here. You know, Will tries different things sometimes, and he's done character diary and incorporated some lines from the playthrough before. But this is a new setting. I'm really liking this. We were introduced to Callista. There was a little bit of describing her and what she had done, but I didn't realize it was going to be told from the perspective of, you know, her older and kind of looking back and thinking back on what happened. That's a really neat way to set the story.
Yeah, that was very intriguing, the way that it unfolded. And it'll be interesting to find out, you know, who his voice actors are. If he recruited family members or if it's just people from the art club or...
So there's a mix here. He's writing all the lines for them and all that. I think some of the future, like the kids and stuff, I don't know if it's family or if it's like AI generated voices for a couple of those lines. It might be either. I'm not sure. But then also a lot of them are taken from actual in-game dialogue. So,
yeah. You can definitely tell those.
Yep. But it was really well done. And the music framing too. Some of those voices you recognize, like Johnson Nash and Vulpes, like his delivery is iconic. Really cool to hear.
Well, and even Trudy.
Yeah, for sure. Right away. Like that was right at the start. Jumping in with Trudy there and kind of explaining the setting there. I think this is going to be some fun framing. And I like the fact that she's gotten to the point where she's discovering the factions, discovering things because she doesn't know her background. She doesn't have memory, but she's telling the story from memory. And so that's kind of a neat contradiction that the whole thing is framed as memories, but it's from a time that she didn't have a memory and was kind of learning about the Mojave for the first time. And she's on her way to the Mojave outpost. Nice. Well, that wraps up our feedback for this week. Y'all, awesome. Thank you again. Shout out to Jeff, Lee, Technomancer, Rando, Calm Horizons, John, Vanessa, Sulior, Jean, and Will. A lot of first-time feedbackers in there, a lot of long-time feedbackers, and a lot of great feedbackers, all of you. I know some other people are playing along with us, and like I said, you don't need to send every week. Catch us up to where you are. Let us know the highlights. Let us know what's different about your playthrough or things that were exciting for you. That's the best part. I mean, that's kind of what we talk about, too. Like, we try to go through the nitty-gritty steps of each quest, especially the ones with nitty-gritty specific steps, more than shooting at bottles. But yeah, it's wonderful to hear.
Yeah, great stuff. Thanks, everybody.
So we don't have a game time, do we?
No.
Okay, well,
that would be a pretty one-sided game.
Yeah. Well, last time it was just you and I. We did Are You Smarter Than a Ray Butcher with the chat. But I didn't know we were going to be Andrewless tonight, so I didn't prep anything.
Well, yeah. Oh, darn.
You don't want to win that challenge again? I mean, you did come out victorious. It was close.
I dodged a bullet on that one.
Yeah, so I am looking for the Iguana Bits intro.
All of this just works.
No, that's not the one. Do I have it saved? Okay, you know what? I'm here. I'll do it live.
And now it is time for the Iguana Bits, friends. I'm sure you will enjoy it, and it won't be painful at all to hear what Bethesda has been up to next. Here we are. Take it away, Jess.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, whoever that was.
That other soundbite definitely was not appropriate for this segment. It was the Todd Howard that did.
Oh, Todd Howard. Yeah, no, that was a different intro. Yeah,
because it didn't work.
When I was looking at trying to play Sodas for the Modus files, and I was going to do a Gladys Styles. But anyway, we actually have some exciting news to start. Double XP XP this weekend. Y'all, if you are a 76er and you feel like grinding out some levels, you feel like getting some XP on the scoreboard, you'll get more because it's double XP. So jump in, enjoy it. You've got 3 days because coming up on Tuesday, Burning Springs update comes to Fallout 76. So you got 4 days now. It's Friday. I have no idea. What day is it? I don't know. Ray, check the retirement watch.
For mere mortals, it's Saturday.
Saturday. Beautiful. Wait, I haven't gone. Are you sure? Okay, fine. It's not Saturday till tomorrow. Okay, anyway, double XP this weekend. And then looking ahead on the community calendar, we do have the big update coming Tuesday. And really, that's all we need for the next while. The rest of the month, we've got Treasure Hunter, public events, Caps Plenty, the plain stuff, because you've got plenty to explore with Burning Springs. And remember, there will be a land rush. There is all kinds of unclaimed land in Ohio just waiting for you to plop down a camp. So find your favorite spot before someone else does. Then, of course, we're going to get the Jingle Scorched coming up December 15th. So we've got 2 weeks till Jingle Scorched as well. Besides Double XP, I want to give a shout out to the Steam Awards. So we're not anything painful yet. This is good. This is all fun stuff. The Steam Awards are out again. Anyone can vote, even if you don't play on Steam. You can vote in the Steam Awards. It's open to anybody. You go to, the Steam website and you can vote. You don't have to be on PC. And there are a couple categories that are fun, some Bethesda related. But the one that we would like you to vote for is vote for Fallout 76 for the Labor of Love Award. Now, this is my 3rd year pushing it, and we haven't won yet. But you can nominate the game that you think is a labor of love, and they keep giving us more content. They keep promoting the game. They keep adding to it and trying to take care of the community. And even if it's a bit of a roller coaster at times, it's definitely a labor of love, and they've earned it. So, yeah, they've been mentioning that on their socials, and I wanted to mention everybody here, too. Now, you might have thought, because Andrew wasn't here this week, you would escape unscathed with any Shelter news. The best Fallout game would not be mentioned. And no, I obviously would talk about New Vegas, but we're talking Fallout Shelter. Well, I got to mention it. So y'all, don't forget Fallout Shelter exists, and there's stuff happening with it. Let me pull up right now. I saved some stuff. Yeah, there are special Thanksgiving quests happening now in Shelter. No Thanks for the Gobbler. What a great name. No Thanks for the Gobbler. And other limited time quests are back in Fallout Shelter. And you can feast on discounts on all bundles this weekend on Steam and on mobile and not on console because they hates us. And I don't know why, but if you play on PC or mobile, you can enjoy everything. We probably will get the Thanksgiving quest on Xbox though, but we don't get the discounts and bundles and special stuff. But yeah, it's called No Thanks for the Gobbler. It's going to be a fun quest. We don't have an announcement on seasons yet. I did scour the interwebs this afternoon looking for any morsel on when Fallout seasons are coming because our buddy Pip-Boy Steve is excited about it. Andrew's trying not to get too excited about it in case it's disappointing, but he is. So hopefully we get something on it soon. Do you think they'll break Fallout Shelter when they roll out seasons, Ray?
No, they've managed to isolate the Shelter. They're sheltering Shelter from the we can't have a clean release bug.
Yeah, it's been sheltered from it. Indeed. That's awesome. I'm hopeful. And that's probably why we haven't gotten it yet either, because they're making sure it's testing and working and all that. That'll take a little bit. But yeah, so just keeping up with the Bethesda socials this week, the Fallout socials. We got some fun stuff on the Fallout TV show from Australia. Some lucky folks in Australia got to do a little sneak peek premiere and talk to some of the actors, got some word from the actors, various things. I would say the one tidbit that I would like to share, which kind of goes along with what I've been saying, but I know others have been saying differently. So talking to Aaron Moten, who plays Maximus, of course, about the game and about seeing Mr. House and stuff like that, he said, and this is not a direct quote, I'm paraphrasing, but he said kind of what Jonah said about first season, that the game he thinks is working hard to thread the needle and not canonize any specific ending, that they want to keep that open and not determine the fate of your career and the choices they made. So again, that's paraphrased, not exactly what he said, but he did cast a light on the fact that as far as he knows, from what he's been told, they are not trying to canonize an ending. So even though we have seen Mr. House on a screen with the ghoul, there could be another explanation. It could be from before. It could be from before the time of the courier, because there are multiple levels of time that could be happening. So we don't know. We know the Legion's still around. We know the NCR is still around in some form. We know Mr. House might still be around. Maybe it's a standoff. Maybe it's a yes man ending. Maybe it's a we didn't kill House ending. I don't know. We'll find out. But I thought that was
we'll
a
have
fun
to wait
tidbit.
and see.
Yeah, exactly. Do you want them to canonize an ending, Ray, or would you prefer they keep it open?
I'd rather they keep it open. I mean, they're doing a good job of staying outside of the game with their story.
Mm-hmm.
And, it sounds like from the interviews that is something that they talk about a lot.
Yeah, they certainly did first season, and I'm glad they
with
are
the
now.
crew is that they're not there to play the game.
Yeah, that's true. They have said
they're
that
there
to
to tell a story.
Yep.
And their hope is that the fans will be excited about the story that they're telling.
Yeah,
not how it relates to any of the games or anything. Just that the game stuff is there, but and sets the world, but that nothing about the story of the TV show
is set in stone.
Is set in stone as far as the game goes.
That makes sense. Yeah, that the lore will inform it, and the lore as we know it is there, but they're not going to canonize things from individuals' playthroughs. And we know some actors have taken that advice. Walton Goggins famously is not touching or playing the game, but there are lots of fans involved too. Lucy was encouraged to play New Vegas, and so she had jumped in and she had played, or season 1, I think she did play some New Vegas, right? I think she might have touched 3 and New Vegas, but anyway, she did jump in and play some, so she's been informed. But yeah, I'm glad they're taking that tack overall. And yeah, played Fallout 4. Yeah, so maybe she did start with 4, but I'm positive she was encouraged to play New Vegas. And it's been 2 years. She's been to a lot of fan events, and maybe she's actually been taking time to play. I mean, what else are you going to do on the set of the multiple shows she's recording, right? Go back to your trailer and play New Vegas. That's what I would do.
Yeah. Hopefully she played before the update.
Yeah, I think she did. Or maybe she played on console. So speaking of updates and the before times when things worked, yes, when things actually worked, it happened. Todd was not always off base on that one.
All of this just works.
Thank you, Todd. Yes, it does. My walls stick to my foundations. But they have more information on the Fallout 4 patch. So we did get the November patch earlier this week on the 24th. And as they were sharing, thank you for your continued communication with us. The team is focused on the DLC installation issues of one of the first things they're working on, because that wasn't fully solved with the original hotfix. They're focused on DLC installation, occasional crashing, and general user experience. We did not get the storage boost. They originally said hopefully to give you more storage space in the November 24th patch. That didn't happen. Now it's looking at December patch. So they say we'll share more details on the December patch in the coming weeks. We need more time to roll out this heavily requested feature from the community. Someone brought up, and this was a Twitter comment, but I thought it was actually a very insightful on the way things can and do go wrong, is what if we don't have the whole 100 gig available on our console? When we update the game, if it tries to reserve 100 gig, is it going to crash or the game not run? That is exactly the kind of question you should be asking Bethesda, and exactly the kind of thing they should be testing for.
Yeah.
Now, the way it works in Starfield is it's got the 100 gig available, but it's not reserved space. So there's an amount of reserved space that it keeps, like on Fallout 4, currently it's 2, on Skyrim it's 5, and they do actually block that off. But for Starfield, they didn't block off a full 100 for you. You know what I mean? They'll use your available space, but they only block off a smaller amount. And hopefully they take that tack with Fallout 4 as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They did
and they were really quick to get the fix for the update out.
The
same day. Well, no. So there was the hot
You mean the
fix.
fix? Okay, you're talking the fix for the... Yeah.
Then
so
this week we had the update.
I was preparing I was working and getting ready for a trip. Yeah.
A few hours later, we got the fix for the update.
Yeah. So there were some iguana bits on that. I don't actually check on what was in the additional fix on that. The fix to the fix. Do you know what went wrong with the initial rollout of the patch? Just something.
No, I don't remember. Yeah, it just...
Yeah, I know it wasn't smooth for everybody, and it didn't fix everything it was supposed to fix. That's kind of a given when you look at various things on PC and such like that. But
I can't remember what it was. In one ear, out the other, really, because it's at this point,
it's moot.
I'm not playing Fallout 4.
No, you'll deal with it when it's done, and for now, you just play your old version,
but
better version or the working version.
It was definitely new things broke with the update that they released this week. Fortunately, they were able to quickly realize what those breaks were and put out another patch that fixed it the same day.
Well, and people are, as much as we kind of laugh about people giving feedback, because we know some of the feedback they received has been the most pleasant feedback, but they're saying thank you for your feedback, because especially at first, but that feedback is invaluable. Like if people quickly report what the actual errors are, and there are channels in the Discord specifically for that, let them know the bugs. If they're seeing the same thing for people, if they're getting feedback back in testing, it will help them. But things that they actually nominally fixed was a crash when starting new games with creations on PS4. Yep, the PS4 had the worst of it. Like all this stuff, PS4 has had the worst.
Yeah.
Fixed a crash when quitting after exiting interior with your Pip-Boy open on PS4 and PS5. Don't have that Pip-Boy open when you exit, or else you're in trouble, because there's a split second where you can, of course, open it, or you can have it open. Rare crashes when choosing to use the save data load order, which was supposed to be what's there to help you save your creation order. So that is one good thing about them delaying the storage thing. Like I talked about last week, there is a way to save your load order on console. And if you have a lot of mods and you don't want to reinstall, make sure to do that. Fixed a crash that could occur when selecting purchase credits on PC. So all those creations that you're buying. I remember you talking about how, they've given us free credits a couple times. And keep in mind, the credits for creations are transferable across games. So if you pick up credits for Starfield, you can spend them in Skyrim and you can spend them in Fallout 4. And vice versa. Creation credits are a single currency across all their games with creations, which is, that's kind of a cool innovation. I like it. But you can also think, oh, I got free credits. And it turns out those were the ones you were saving specifically for another one of your games. So I just want to mention in case y'all didn't know. Oh, yeah. And here's a fun crash. They fixed the crash when selecting download all own Creation Club creations. The UI and user experience, they did just performance improvements, soft locking, bundle prices updating, showing what you owned, all the things that weren't working as well before, and a lot of them on PlayStation. There are still issues. They do say, please note, PlayStation 5 players with low internet speeds, you plebes, may encounter a potential issue that causes the creations menu to be grayed out. If encountered, just refresh your connection. So yeah, they are still seeing issues. As far as creations themselves, they are sharing some free ones. So it's not just the ones we got with it, but because the new creations mod system, they are doing some Bethesda created ones as well. And they're going to be free. First one is Varmint Rifle, which is perfect for New Vegas. We're getting our Varmint Rifle, and they just added a free Varmint Rifle to the game. And they're saying they're releasing a number of more free creations over the next week. And they haven't explained what they all are, but the Varmint Rifle says, fall down a manhole, discover a unique rifle, solve an elaborate set of puzzles, and in true Wasteland fashion, you're not the only thing trapped down here.
And when I saw that, I was like, okay, great. So they give us the absolute worst gun.
Yep.
From Fallout New Vegas.
But it's a bad gun with history. Yeah, no, that is funny. The Varmint Rifle is not something you keep using that long, depending. But yeah, people in chat mentioning that they've had some similar issues with their Fallout 4 installs. I don't think anyone here in chat right now, at least, plays on Fallout 4 on PlayStation. Actually, our friend John may be playing New Vegas on PlayStation now, if I recall correctly. I think he's a PlayStation player. But probably not trying Fallout 4 on PlayStation currently with the update. He says yes, he is on PlayStation right now. So I hope when you do upgrade or try Fallout 4 that it's in good working state at that point.
Yeah. And I'm fortunate enough so I've got one computer that has my Fallout London copy of Fallout 4.
Right.
And then I have a completely separate computer that has
testing the updated one.
Currently broken update of Fallout 4.
It's the safest way to go. Keep them separated.
Yeah. Yeah. Never the twain shall meet. So, and my Fallout London is running immaculately.
Which is excellent. Well maintained. they've had several great patches and updates since releasing that game just over a year ago. It didn't take them 18 months.
Yeah, I mean, with Rabbit and Port, that game became so incredibly stable.
Yeah.
It's even more stable than base Fallout 4.
Yeah, I believe it. I mean, we know the 1.03 or whatever it was back in January, February that tied up some loose ends, made it more stable, and they just kept on doing the same thing, just fixing those bugs, fixing those floaties, fixing things that cause issues. And it's great. It sounds like it added a lot. Much like people on PlayStation waiting to play Fallout 4 when I finally play Fallout London for real. Hopefully I enjoy. Oh my God. I can play Fallout London on a TV now.
It's true.
I'm excited. I'm actually really, really excited about that. Oh, wow. That's going to be awesome. But yeah, and the last bit I already mentioned, but just to reiterate, the next major Fallout 76 update, Burning Springs, will be out on Tuesday. I know we've been talking about it since the end of September, and some of us got a preview earlier in September, and now it's been on the test server, and so you've seen some of it, but it will be there for everybody. All the changes with it, all the new stories, the ghouls, the bounty hunting, all that. The first major part of it, with a sizable quest and a lot of cool content, is going to be on Tuesday. But that also means if you didn't know, the season is ending. So use that double XP to finish your season. This will probably be the first season I haven't finished since the fourth one. But I'm going to try to get in there and get a few more levels probably. Or not. We'll see. And the rest of you who are score tired, enjoy it.
Yeah. Everybody be patient. The hotfix will be out Thursday.
Yeah, we're getting blood. Oh my God. Oh, y'all. All of this just
works.
It does. It does. I had to pull it out tonight because I'm just feeling the pain. I've been feeling people's pain a lot. I've been hearing a lot of feedback from people across various places, and it's just, it hurts. Some people really want to play Fallout 4 and they can't, and that sucks. But bring it. Ohio, Blood and Rust, let's go. That's pretty much all I have for this week. Ray, you have anything exciting?
No. Just looking forward to playing some more New Vegas.
Absolutely. Yeah, we got to get our quest in so we can do our own quest walkthroughs next week.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving time.
I need to start researching melee and unarmed weapons so that the 10mm silencer will show up in inventories.
Oh, right. Yeah, if you fake the game out, you get to do a left feint towards unarmed, so you can do a right fake to get in your silencer.
Yeah.
Clever. Very clever. Playing a sneaky character.
Yeah, this is definitely sneaky, and he's been doing some heavy duty sniping from up on high. So,
did you have a favorite thing you cooked or ate this week? I have to ask since Andrew's not here, and he would he would not forgive us if we didn't do a little bit of Thanksgiving talk.
Well, I can say that my Thanksgiving spread,
Asian Thanksgiving,
was spaghetti.
Oh, there we go. Not even lo mein. It was spaghetti, huh? What kind of sauce? Turkey sauce?
No, just marinara and Italian sausage.
Oh, yum. Okay, that sounds good and spicy. I love it. So I spent it with my friend Shreds, and she's a cook and a very good one, much like you. Really loves cooking. And I will say, I think my favorite thing was her cranberry sauce. So I've had real cranberry sauce from whole cranberries before, of course. Like, I'm not a complete heathen, but I mostly eat it from a can, just like peaches. That's what we do. And I've had it made by other people, but I will tell you, her homemade cranberry sauce, it was the richest, most delicious thing. Just the way she popped those cranberries and added some orange and just boiled it down. It was just really, really good. And the drinks were good too. But she had me muddle along with a new holiday drink that she made up.
Nice.
Yeah, but it was a good week, good times. And I hope everybody listening, if you're American or if you celebrate Thanksgiving just for the heck of it, I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. And for all our non-American friends, but there are a ton of you out there too, I hope you had a great week and a wonderful weekend. You want to wrap us out, Ray? You want to see us off?
You can find Jess.
You can. At Sleep is for Tea on the Twitters and the Blue Sky and most public social media. Also on YouTube and Twitch as Jessica Star XP or Jessica Star. Just search me up. You can find Ray at
BBCISSS for the No Man's Sky show. And you can find me at Ray LB, but you're really not going to find much.
You're not going to find much there. Nope. He's busy gaming. He's not tweeting. He's gaming.
Yeah. But Ray Metzger in the Discord
as
is
always
probably the easiest place to interact.
Yep. And, we do check the Facebook group. Some people have been more active there lately. Tyrell been posted a lot. A few other friends. Our friend Ken gave an update. Ken Pohl. It was, again, great hearing from him last week on stuff. You can obviously follow Andrew at Indie Android and find him on Facebook and other places. Beyond that, a new episode of Skyrimatic was released earlier this week. I think it was like a week or two recorded previously, but it was a good episode of Skyrimatic. Did it come out on Monday this week? I think it did.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It's a good one. Victor and Ray are in rare form, and you talk about Novus a lot, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the heck out of it.
Good. Yeah, we have a lot of fun. You get Victor and I revved up, and we can be crotchety old man.
I love hearing that. I think you even had a write-in, too. I think you had a write-in this past week.
Yeah.
And they were talking about enjoying the mod talk and all that. So it's not like you guys need an excuse, but that's always good to hear. So, yeah.
Indeed.
Check out all our other shows. You got BBC ISS, you got Skyrimatic Podcast, you got us here on the Fallout feed. Coming back soon enough, it'll be Vault Talk. We'll hear how that goes. Once the show comes out, we might do a few of those. Be sure and check Dames Who Game. Got another episode coming out very soon. And, a few other things. We'll let you know. In the meanwhile, enjoy your weekend, enjoy your day, and we'll see you in the Wasteland.
Thank you for downloading this episode of the Fallout Feed Roundtable. If you are interested in doing a play-along character with us, the show can be contacted by emailing falloutroundtable@gmail.com. For the Roundtable schedule, our Amazon link, and all other show information, please head on over to asapodcasting.com, where you will find the Fallout feed, a Skyrimatic podcast, our YouTube channel, the Chatterbox, as well as other content. Once again, thank you for downloading, and we'll see you in the Wasteland.